Fuentes once, not even a clip, nothing, until about 6 months ago.
It was bad for President Trump to have Ye West and Nick Fuentes over for dinner.
It's undeniable. This young dude is a force to be reckoned with.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. It's going to be only America first. America first. The American people will come first once again. With respect, the respect that we deserve. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Monday. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Lots to get into. Big show. Finally, some news. It's been, I think, a long time since anything's actually happened. Our featured story tonight, we're talking all about Hasan Piker and his uncle, who have been banned from the United Kingdom as of yesterday. And technically, I don't know that they were banned. I don't believe they were permanently prohibited from entering the United Kingdom. However, it seems that for the time being, at least for this visit, for this trip, we'll talk about what they were there for. They have been denied entry officially by the British government, by the British Home Office. And they say that this is because it would not be conducive to the public good if Hasan and his uncle Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks are allowed into the country to do some of their political activism. And so I saw this story today, or rather I saw it over the weekend. And it's really interesting because this is part of this unfolding conversation about a so-called right-wing, left-wing alliance to confront or challenge the influence of Israel in the United States. And as you know, I have said for weeks, months, I think I said at the beginning of the year, very strongly in January, this is not possible, nor is it even, I think, desirable. And this has been an evolving conversation I've talked a lot about it on the show. I've talked a little bit about it on Telegram and given my thoughts about it. But this is, I think, another entry. This is another development in this ongoing conversation. And let me just say first, right out of the gate, obviously, I don't think people should be banned from entering the United Kingdom or Europe. And we know probably why this is happening. There has been an enormous push lately. I don't believe I've actually said this on the show yet, but I should now. There has been an enormous push, really just in the past few weeks and months, I've noticed it, to try to draw a comparison between me and Hasan Piker. And this has broader implications. There is a concerted effort by the Israel lobby and the Jewish lobby, specifically the censorship organizations, the anti-Semitism awareness organizations. They have been trying to create this equivalency between the far-right anti-Semites, which are probably represented by me, first and foremost, and now lately the left-wing anti-Semites or anti-Zionist, Israel-critical types like Hasan Piker, among others. But again, they see him as representative. And I've noticed this literally just in the past few weeks, couple months. This is why me and Hasan have been at war with each other so much lately, because he has really been under attack. Let's just be honest. There has been a big push to get him censored, to restrict his ability to do his activism, they say, because there is not enough focus on the anti-Zionism on the left. These groups are saying that I get all the attention, the far right gets all the attention. They say, but nobody's really talking about anti-Zionist fanaticism on the left. And so they're really coming after Hasan Piker very strongly. So I was a bit surprised to learn yesterday that him and his uncle were banned from the United Kingdom essentially over this. This is part of that. They have been banned most likely because they have become extremely Israel-critical voices. So they're denied entry into an entire country. And I just want to say at the outset, obviously I'm against that. I'm against people being banned from countries, and especially I'm against them being banned from the United Kingdom because they criticized Israel. That doesn't even really make any sense when you think about it. That being said, and this is going to be my take, we're going to get into it tonight. Where did all of this come from? When you see the European Union and the Schengen zone and the United Kingdom, when you see the West crack down on free speech in this way, whether it's on social media, banking, the big tech or little tech platforms, or even up to and including being banned from a continent or a country, where did this come from? Who set the precedent for this? And the answer is the left. The left created this situation. Why is it that in 2026 people are not permitted to enter the UK or the Schengen zone because of their political views? It's because the left has been lobbying for exactly that for decades. It has been going on for decades, and it's only been happening against the right. Hate speech legislation, every manner of restriction, civil institutions coming after us. This has been and is a left-wing phenomenon. And what is interesting is now that it is finally affecting the far left, now they want everybody to take their side. So Hasan is a socialist, a democratic socialist, left-wing progressive. He hates us. He wants us dead. When Charlie Kirk got shot, he was making jokes. He had jokes about it. He has advocated, not merely supported, not merely did not oppose, he has advocated for people like me and people like you and everybody else to be censored, to be victims of violent attacks, up to and including assassinations. He has advocated for hate speech laws, all these kinds of things. And now that it is finally affecting him and his uncle, oh, now it's a big problem. Now they say free speech is dead. Now they say the West has betrayed its values. Now it's a big problem. Well, that's really interesting because nobody had any problem with this when Kanye West, Ye, got banned from the UK just a couple of months ago. Nobody had a problem when it was Richard Spencer, Jared Taylor, even Lauren Southern. And I saw some people critiquing, I shouted her out on my post the other day, but it is true. All those people have been denied entry into the United Kingdom in particular over the years because they're against immigration. I don't remember a big stink being made about any of that. I don't remember any kind of both sides ecumenical approach. People saying, hey, I might not agree with Spencer on everything. I might not agree with race and IQ, but they should be allowed into the UK. I never heard that from the left, ever. From any part of the left, not the far left, not the center left. As a matter of fact, in one unified voice, they all supported that. They created that. They created the conditions for that to happen, and they cheered when it did. And now they say, conductor, we have a problem. People are being banned from the UK because we just criticized Israel. And here's the cherry on top. Are you ready? Here's the cherry on top. Watch this. Now that the ADL and the Jewish groups are coming after them, now that they're banned from the United Kingdom, you know what they say? They say, but we're not anti-Semites. We're just criticizing Israel. They say, no, you've got it all wrong. I'm not racist. I'm not violent. That was all taken out of context. No, that was a hyperbole. It was a joke. I didn't really mean that. I'm not really an anti-Semite. I'm not really a hater. It's so dishonest. How could you say that? Oh, really? Wow. Oh, so now, all these years later, now you want to say it's not fair? Oh, now it's not fair. Now it's not fair that everybody and anybody that has any criticism of the status quo is being called a bigot and being banned from entire countries because of it. Oh, now that's not fair. That's against the rules. Wait, time out. This is all a big misunderstanding. I don't hate Jews. I just think they're committing a genocide. What's going on? Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Well, you know what? Get used to it. Get used to it. Settle in, because this is the game we have all been playing for our entire lives. In public, in private, on the platforms, across borders. This is the game we have been playing our entire lives. And by the way, they're still doing that. You know, Hassan Piker will, out of one side of his mouth, say, this isn't fair. I'm not really a hater. I just critique the status quo. Why am I being dragged out of your country? And then out of the other side of his mouth, he's going to say, there's no equivalency between me and Nick Fuentes. That dude is a fucking Nazi. That dude is a fucking Nazi. He's a Klansman. Okay, so, I mean, but this is the problem. The guy's an idiot. I think Cenk Uygur gets it a little better. Hassan Piker just doesn't even see the irony, doesn't see the contradiction. But anyway, we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about the situation in Lebanon and Iran. Get a load of this. Trump and Netanyahu have had another very tense phone call. Are we doing this again? We are doing all of it all over again. Last week, we talked about the Iran negotiations. They said we had a deal, right? Which they always do. They said a deal is within reach. We have a memorandum of understanding. All we need is the signatures. It's ready to go. And then there's all these attacks in the Persian Gulf. We're bombing Iran. Iran bombs the Emirates. They're drone striking our ships. We're bombing them again. Here we go again. This week, Trump says, no, they really want to make a deal. A deal is within reach. Iran says, no, the deal is off. We don't even want to talk anymore. Well, here's something a little bit fresh. It's not new, but it's a little bit more fresh. So one of the big hangups in these Iran negotiations is the fate of the war between Israel and Lebanon. Simultaneously, you really have two distinct conflicts, two theaters of conflict. You've got the war over the Persian Gulf between Iran, the United States, and a coalition of Gulf countries. But you've also got a major Israeli offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Israel is not only bombing Hezbollah, they're also invading southern Lebanon on the ground. And that's not getting a lot of attention, but that is going on. And a big hang-up in the negotiation is that Iran is insistent that we end the war between Israel and Hezbollah as a condition for them to open up the strait in the Persian Gulf. And we cannot get Israel to do this because we have no control over them. Every time it seems that we are about to make a deal, a ceasefire, open the strait, Israel actually escalates the fighting in Lebanon on purpose to derail diplomacy. We are within reach of a deal. It's about to happen. Iran insists that we bring an end to the fighting in Lebanon. And what does this do? It effectively gives Israel a veto power over any deal. If Iran conditions the opening of the strait on the tempo or scale of the fighting in Lebanon, that means it's really up to Israel whether we get a deal, because they alone control the fight against Lebanon. So it looks like we have a deal. Like I said, last week, they are saying that all that is required is a signature, and then we're ready to go. The strait is open, the war is over, and we can finally move on. Well, in response to this development, Netanyahu actually escalates the fighting. So we have a deal. Okay, it's all good. We're ready to go. Hey, Netanyahu, you're going to stop the fighting in Lebanon, right? We need our oil. Netanyahu says, not only are we not going to stop, we're actually going to make it worse than ever. We're going to do the biggest offensive yet, and that is literally what they have done in the past week. Netanyahu says, not only are we going to keep fighting, it will intensify. It will be as intense as ever. They're talking about bombing the capital. They're invading the south. So, big development today. Axios is reporting that Trump had a very terse phone call with Netanyahu. Trump called him up and he let him have it. Trump said, "What the fuck are you doing? You're invading Lebanon. You're going to make everyone hate Israel. How could you do this? I got you out of jail. You owe me." This is literally the conversation. And then this story about the conversation was planted in the press today. And we are all supposed to believe that Trump is very unhappy with Netanyahu. And you know what is the punchline about this? This is exactly what Joe Biden did throughout 2024. You might remember when the genocide was ongoing in Gaza, when it was the most intense that it ever was, Biden was begging Netanyahu to stop. Please stop killing them. Please, it's ruining my presidency. Please, you're costing us the election. And Netanyahu refused. Netanyahu was taking foreign aid with both hands, and then he was doing whatever he wanted to do. And so what Biden would do in response is he would leak these types of stories, exactly this, to the Washington Post. And so every month you would get a story. Biden and Netanyahu had a very bad phone call. Biden said, "Listen up, Jack. We are not happy." And this just goes to show the impotence of the United States. We can do nothing. This is all we can do to Israel. Israel is 100% dependent on us. We are fighting their wars. Our president is doing personal and political favors for this government, and we cannot get them to do anything. Our economy is about to fucking explode. We're talking about gas shortages in September. Okay? We are running out of fuel. It's over. It's already over. Even if the strait opens tomorrow, it's over. The economy's crashing. We're running out of gas. Trump is trying as hard as he can, I believe, to end the conflict, and Netanyahu won't do it. There is nothing we can do to change the situation. This is what we have to resort to. We have to go and gossip to Axios, which is like a third-rate public. I read it every day. And I know some people there. Some of the journalists there talk to me, and some of them are okay. But this is not even like the Washington Post. It's not the Journal. You're talking to Axios saying, "Hey, could you guys tell everybody that Netanyahu is not cool?" Trump and his aides are calling up Axios. "Hey, listen, you got to get the word out. Trump and Netanyahu are not cool. They just had a very bad phone call. It is not okay." Because we can do nothing else. We can't take their money. We can't sanction them. We can't put a blockade on their economy. All we could do is bitch on the phone to this guy and then tell the press. That's the dynamic. So we'll talk about that too. It should be a pretty good show. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Remember to check out the merch store, Fuentes.store. We have our brand new spring collection. I'm told a summer collection may be imminent. The official summer collection may be happening at any time. So be on the lookout for that. If you want to support the show, subscribe at AmericaFirst.plus. $15 a month, you get access to the archive of the show, every episode of the show ever, every debate, collaboration, commentary stream, speech, going back 10 years. It's all there. So check it out. For $100 a month, you get to be in the group chat with me. And I did a little show last week and over the weekend. So I did not do an episode of America First on Thursday and Friday. But in the group chat, I did a lot of content this weekend. I did a mini show on Thursday, did about a half hour, 40 minutes of content on Thursday. And I did another 30 minutes of content on Saturday, I believe. So if you're in the group chat, you're getting the bonus content, you're keeping in touch with me, and it's a great way to support the show. So AmericaFirst.plus, check it out. Okay, with that out of the way, we're going to dive in here. And yes, it's been a minute since I've done a show. I didn't do a show Thursday. There was just nothing going on in the news. There was nothing. I was getting ready. I'm reading the newspaper. There's nothing to cover. It's been a very slow few months. And then I was out of town this weekend. We had some interesting meetings over the weekend. I was out there in Miami. They love me down there. I was out there in Miami. We were south, we were north, we were all over the city. We were in North Miami, perhaps. Perhaps we were in North Miami a little bit. And it's a good time. I have to say, they love me down there. They love me everywhere, but they really love me in Miami. I get a lot of love in New York, but in Miami, it's like everybody fucks with me there. I'm in the Brickell City Center. Everybody loves me there. I'm in Miami Beach. I'm in South Beach. Everybody loves me there too. I didn't go to Baccarat. I didn't want to blow up Clav's spot. I know I said the other week, I'm like, Clav, would you let me in? I didn't want to go. He said it was cool, but I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to make any trouble. I don't want the mayor of the city to wipe everybody out again like last time. But yeah, anyway. So I just got back in town today, and I'm ready to do the show. Hopefully another full week. Hopefully a full week this week, but no promises. But anyway, so yeah, not too much going on. I want to just jump right into the show. We'll get into it because we do have a lot to talk about. And our first story is about Hasan Piker. Like I said, this weekend, it was revealed that Hasan and his uncle Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, apparently they were planning to visit the United Kingdom for this Oxford debate. I guess Cenk Uygur was debating somebody. I don't remember who exactly. But he was there at Oxford Student Union to do a debate. Hasan, his nephew, I don't know if they went together. I don't know, like, are they still tight as a family? I don't really know the dynamic, but his nephew was also there to go to the South by Southwest. Is that what that is? It says SXSW London. I assume that's South by Southwest, but I'm not really in the loop. I'm not tapped in on that. But he was there for that. They were visiting the United Kingdom, and they were denied entry into the country. And to me, this is a huge surprise. I've never heard of this. I've never seen this. Of course, this sort of thing happens all the time to right-wing people. And it has happened. This has happened to Richard Spencer. It has happened to Jared Taylor. It most recently has happened to Ye. I was worried it was going to happen to me going into Europe recently or last year, a couple years ago. But I've never seen it happen to somebody liberal or on the far left. So this might be a first. I've been doing this show for almost a decade. I can't think of a single other example of it. It might be a first. They were denied entry into the United Kingdom. I don't believe it's on a permanent basis, but their entry was reviewed by the British Home Office, and I guess they made a spontaneous decision that they were not going to be let into the country. And this is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, Britain said on Monday that it had blocked entry to two prominent American commentators, Cenk Uygur and Hasan Piker, because of their potential risk to British society. Mr. Uygur and Mr. Piker, two progressive activists with popular social media channels, were set to speak at events in Britain this week. Both expressed outrage on social media and accused the British authorities of canceling their travel authorization because of their vocal criticism of Israel. Imagine that. You hate to see that. Oh, I hate to see it. No, someone from the far left got censored for criticizing Israel. Time out. This isn't fair. Does the government know about this? This is against the Constitution or something. Call the United Nations. Isn't it just so refreshing? It's like that TikTok sound. Refreshing. Isn't this so refreshing? Finally. Because in case you missed it, this has been all of our lives for 10 years. And it sucks. I have been treated, you know what I'm about to say. I have been treated like a second-class citizen for a decade because I criticized Israel on the right wing. Because when I turned 18 and went to college, I said, hey, what's going on with foreign aid? Why does Israel get all this foreign aid and they're the number one recipient? And then it was just a cascade. I was banned from CPAC, and I was banned from the airlines, and I was banned from Airbnb and PayPal and Stripe and Facebook, like you name it. Now on the far left, they're banned because of their criticism of Israel. Wow, well, you hate to see that. Now we have a problem. The article goes on, it says the British Home Office, which manages border security, said in an emailed statement that the authorizations of the two commentators had been canceled because their presence in Britain may not be conducive to the public good. The Home Office said that a decision to deny entry for that reason was based solely on an assessment of the potential risk an individual may pose to British society. The statement did not mention Mr. Uygur or Mr. Piker's criticism of Israel, nor any of their views. Mr. Uygur criticized the decision in a social media post, saying it was due to my criticism of Israel, calling the move absolutely Kafkaesque. Sucks, doesn't it? I know, it is Kafkaesque. It is, isn't it? It really is. Dude, that is the most, please, fill up my cup. Yes, more of that. I'll have another, please. Thank you. Yes, a second. He says it's Kafkaesque. It is. It really is. I know. How does that feel? And so when you tried to enter the country and the government of the UK told you your presence was not conducive to the public good and there was no recourse, and how did you feel about that? How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? Frustrated, helpless, powerless? Did it feel irrational, nonsensical? How did that make you feel when you had to get right back on a plane and go home and cancel all your plans? What was that like? I want to savor all those little emotions. Yeah, what was that like? He says it was absolutely Kafkaesque. I know. First time? Anyway, it goes on. It says, Mr. Piker, who is Mr. Uygur's nephew and who had been set to speak at the South by Southwest London Festival, said on social media on Sunday that he had been banned from entering Britain at the behest of Israel. Wait a second. Hasan Piker is saying, based on absolutely no evidence, that he was censored merely for his political views? I don't know. I think you should have just not been a fucking communist. Wait. Hasan Piker is saying, based on absolutely no evidence, that he was persecuted by a foreign government at the behest of Israel? Well, do you have evidence for that? No. Okay. Well, did they say that? No. Okay. Well, then that sounds like a conspiracy theory. You're telling me that governments and multinational corporations engage in censorship at the behest of a foreign country and they create a fake pretext of racism or lie about it to thwart your activism? Well, unless you have any evidence, that just sounds like you're being a victim. That just sounds like you're a left-winger crying about censorship when there is no such, there is no right-wing bias. There is no bias against left-wingers, and trying to impugn the reputation of the Jews in Israel, I don't know, that just sounds like a vile conspiracy theory. You just sound like you're crying. Maybe it's because you're an asshole. Have you ever thought maybe it's because you're a communist jerk? And that's the real reason? Maybe it's because you promote violence on your stream. Maybe it's because you promote stochastic terrorism. Maybe it's because your words constitute a form of violence. Did you ever consider that? Instead of blaming the Jews, instead of blaming the government with no evidence. See, this is what we have been dealing with for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And now it's happening to them. Now they say, oh, I was banned at the behest of Israel. I know. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Anyway, he goes on. We're going to get serious about it in a minute. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it as a treat. It goes on. It says the decision to block Mr. Uygur and Mr. Piker follows the move in April to deny entry to Ye, the American rapper formerly known as Kanye West, because of his history of anti-Semitic comments. A Jewish protection group in Britain, the Community Security Trust, said in an emailed statement on Monday that it welcomed the decision to block Mr. Piker. David Taylor, a lawmaker from the governing Labour Party in Britain, also supported the decision to bar Mr. Piker, writing on social media, "There is no reason to open our doors to those who seek to spread hate and division." I know, I agree. So look, it is 100% true that they were banned for criticizing Israel. That is absolutely undeniable. And that is what the story should reflect. I mean, this is what should be said, is that Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur were banned from entering the UK because they criticize Israel. It is not because they are left-wing. It is not because they are liberal. All of their views are actually mainstream in the United Kingdom. Being a socialist, being a progressive, being secular, or being far left, being a feminist, all these things are mainstream and represented in British government. And so what is the difference between them and any celebrity, them and any left-winger, them and any right-winger for that matter? What do they have in common with the other people that have been banned? The common denominator is your position on Israel. If you are right or left and pro-Israel, you're good. If you are left or right and criticize Israel, you're not good. And what is the structure of this? How does this work? As we talk about, it is not just an Israel lobby. The Israel lobby is subsidiary of an umbrella which is much larger. Israel itself, by the way, is subsidiary to an umbrella which is much larger, an umbrella structure, an umbrella organization. And my preferred term that I use is organized Jewry. What do I mean by this? You have large populations of Jews living in many countries throughout the world. This is a fact. There are a lot of Jews in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in Germany, in France, in Israel, elsewhere. And what do they do in these countries? Well, first and foremost, they identify as Jews. They identify as religious Jews or ethnic Jews, or both. Or they have some semblance of Jewish identity that maybe is cultural. But they are Jews, identify as such in many countries, and what they tend to do is organize on this basis. They create these affinity, fraternal, political, all kinds of organizations for their collective benefit. They want to keep an eye on anti-Semitism because it affects anyone that identifies as a Jew. If I say I'm a Jew, well, then I have an interest in the society not being anti-Semitic because they think I'm a Jew and then they're going to try to hurt me or discriminate against me. So they'll form these anti-Semitism advisory committees, or they'll have federations and congresses to govern their local community, or they'll form all kinds of other manner of organizations to lobby the government on behalf of Israel or on behalf of Jewish values or in favor of religious tolerance, all these kinds of things. So they exist throughout the world as a diaspora. They are a religious ethnic minority. They have a common interest. They have a very powerful sense of togetherness and identity. They organize on the basis of that. And then they become quite powerful. Those organizations communicate with each other on a global transnational level. And so the organized Jews in Germany are talking to the organized Jews in France, and the organized Jews in France are talking to those in the UK, and those in the UK talk to those in America. And it makes them quite powerful. And then they will lobby on behalf of their own interests, which frequently consists in 1, supporting Israel, and 2, policing anti-Semitism, suppressing criticism of Jews in Israel wherever it might crop up, online, in politics, in the public square. So how does this work? Well, we see it very plainly. When Ye tried to do a concert in the United Kingdom, the top Jewish organization spoke to the government. And the Jewish organizations have a lot of pull and influence over the government because Jews are very rich and very powerful and very connected. And they're connected in the United States and in other countries. So they put in a word to the Home Office and they said, we don't want this guy in the country. We don't want this guy who made a song called Heil Hitler performing a concert in our country. So he's got to go. And the British Home Office, which is deeply involved with Israel, deeply involved with the Jewish groups, there's a Jewish caucus in the House of Commons. They say, understandable, and they carry out the order. The same thing has happened here. The Jewish interest organization hit up the government and said, look at what Hassan and Schenck say about Jews in Israel. It's spreading hatred. They got to go. And the government does it. This is what has happened. And let me just say first and foremost, obviously, this is a ridiculous, insane arrangement. That is exactly what happened. Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur are Americans who have criticized Israel. They are now not allowed to even enter the United Kingdom. They can't go there, at least for now, because they've criticized a foreign country. And Cenk, more than Hassan, is not even anti-Jewish, is not, and he is, I think, really went out of his way to acknowledge this. He's not even necessarily opposed to Israel in and of itself. He is against the Netanyahu regime. He is against what they are doing in Gaza. And it's for this position they're not allowed in the country. And think about how disturbed this is, that increasingly this is how the entire Western world works. You cannot enter the United Kingdom, anybody for that matter, if you are a prominent person that has criticized Israel. So if you're against Israel, you're not only against Israel, you're also not welcome in the UK. But it's also true in Germany. There was a decision made in Germany in 2024. They said, we will deny citizenship applications to anyone that has protested against Israel's campaign in Gaza. So if you're against Israel, you're against the United Kingdom and Germany as well. But it's also the United States. The U.S. State Department is reviewing 50,000 visas, which is every visa holder in the United States, and specifically looking at their social media accounts to see if they've ever criticized Israel either. They do this to prospective visa applicants that might travel here as tourists, people that might travel here as journalists, people that might travel here as students or workers. So if you have ever criticized Israel, you're an enemy over there. You're also an enemy in Germany. You're an enemy in the UK. You're an enemy in the United States. And it's getting to the point where our entire civilization is constituted on the basis of whether you support Jews in Israel. And it really begs the question, who is running our society? If you can't set foot on the land in Europe, if you're an enemy of Israel, who's in control? If you cannot set foot on the land in the United States of America, if you've criticized Israel, Australia too, In Australia, they're banning the Roman salute, any kind of support of Hitler. They banned a political party that identified as National Socialist, putting people in jail that have violated their hate speech guidelines. They banned Sneeko in Australia a couple weeks ago. If you cannot set foot on the land in Australia, the US, the UK, Germany, probably elsewhere too, if you're an enemy of the Jews in Israel, who's really in charge here? And notice, by the way, there is nothing comparable if you've actually criticized those governments themselves. I could say, fuck Germany. Germany is an evil country. German identity inherently leads to National Socialism. They all bear the blood guilt of Adolf Hitler and the Holocaust. If I say this, I can go to Germany. If I say, fuck the British, if I say the British identity necessarily leads to colonialism and mercantilism, and they're an evil people, they're responsible for genocide, it's in their DNA, they must be destroyed, I could go to the United Kingdom. If I say the same about the United States, if I say the same about Australia, I'm allowed in. And it happens all the time. If you're a Muslim that says death to America, you can come to America. If you're some third world communist that says America's an evil country, the original sin of slavery, you can come on in. If you're a Jew that says America's the modern Roman Empire, they stole our menorah, they need to burn, well, they give you a gift basket. They say you want the points or the free breakfast, and they let you in. But if you criticize the Jews in Israel, shut it down. Get TSA over here, inspect his bags, go through the metal detector. We've got one. He's criticized the Jews. How sick is that? So let's be very clear at the outset. That is exactly what happened. They did get banned from the UK for criticizing Jews in Israel. It happens all the time. And it also happens in every other country too. It's not exclusive to the UK. It's actually spreading. It's here, it's Germany, it's Australia, it's Canada, it's everywhere. And this has some deep implications for how our society is actually constituted, who actually wields the power. It doesn't work like that for any other group. You can be anti-Muslim, you could be anti-Christian, you could be anti-white, you can be anti-anything. You just cannot be anti-Semitic and live in a white country. Because the Jews run all the white countries, period, end of story. And obviously this is deeply problematic and wrong. However, let us also point out the obvious, which is how did it get to this point? Was it ever the case that the Jews as a group prevailed in the political sphere because they said, vote for me? I want to ban anyone that criticizes Israel from the United States. Was that ever the pitch? Was that ever the campaign? Did we ever vote for that? Was that ever a law with a popular mandate, let's say? I don't remember that. I don't remember that ever happening in Germany, the UK, the US. I don't remember a US candidate ever saying explicitly and in a big way, hey, we need to make sure that nobody that has ever criticized Israel is ever allowed into America again. We don't care what the criticism is. They just can't set foot on the soil. That's not how it started. And as a matter of fact, that never happened. It started in the civil rights era, and even a little before that. But it notably started in the civil rights era with the new left, the far left in the 60s and 70s, when they started to say there was such a thing as racism. Racism and sexism and anti-Semitism were the scourge. And we have to get rid of all the racist, sexist, anti-Semitic quotas and laws in the government. And then we have to fight those racist, sexist, anti-Semitic attitudes among the population through education. And then we need to make sure that nobody can exist that has those views. We need to go further. Anybody that holds those views in their mind or speaks them out loud, they cannot exist. They cannot have a job. They cannot have a platform. They cannot leave their house. They cannot have friends. That's how this started. Who created these policies on hate speech? Who created these policies closing the borders to people because of their political views? Who created the Trust and Safety Commission on YouTube? Who created the community guidelines? It was far left organizations that were constituted during the civil rights era. It was the SPLC, a far left organization that is thick with the Democrats. It was the ADL, which has become a far left organization that is run by an Obama administration alum for the past 15 years. It is Media Matters for America, a left-wing organization. Right Wing Watch, which is a subsidiary of George Soros, People for the American Way. It was 100% unilaterally the far left that created all of this architecture and militated in favor of it. They want hate speech laws. They want so-called hate speech eradicated from the internet. They want hate speech to be punished in the workforce. They believe that if you use hate speech, your friends should ostracize you. You should be doxxed. You should be cast out and maybe even targeted on social media. And what is fascinating is now that the far left has fallen victim to their own censorship machine, now they want to cry about it. Cenk Uygur and Hasan Piker have been the beneficiaries of these policies their entire lives, their entire careers. Insofar as they are left-wing, they are fighting the right wing. And using hate speech as a pretext, Jewish organizations, left-wing organizations, the government have absolutely routed the right wing for decades, targeted their funding, targeted their platforms, their leadership, their organizations. And this has been done in the private sector and the public sector with the force of law and with commerce, with the money power. And for decades, the two of them have been the sole and exclusive beneficiaries of this. Why do you think Hasan Piker is such a popular Twitch streamer? You think it has something to do with the fact that Twitch banned everybody else? Everybody to the right of John McCain has been banned on Twitch for the past 8 years? And you think that does not confer a benefit on Hasan Piker as a political streamer? Everybody from me to Sneeko to anybody on the alt-right, anybody on the dissident right, anybody like Asmongold, they cannot express a center-right opinion. They cannot use terminology like tranny or incel or simp without being banned on Twitch. You don't think that has something to do with the fact that Hasan Piker is now the biggest political streamer on Twitch? They banned all his competition under hate speech. Same goes for the institutions, not just in politics, but elsewhere. It has been effectively criminalized to have an anti-establishment view on race, immigration, sex and gender, feminism, Jews in Israel. So if you are in culture, Hollywood, business, Wall Street, tech, you name it, if you are not on board with that progressive agenda, you will be rooted out, fired, and destroyed. It happened to Palmer Luckey, happened to many other people. You don't think that confers a benefit on people like Hasan and Cenk? You don't think they're more connected? Because through a filtering mechanism, everybody in the powerful institutions has their views. If you don't express allegiance to their views, you get kicked out under that program. So this has been our lives for years. They have benefited from it. They are the beneficiaries of the system, and they created it. They have promoted it. They are out there in the streets with Antifa. They are leading the charge, advocating for people like me to be censored, among other people. They've been leading the charge, calling for censorship policies to get more restrictive and tighter, advocating for even violence against people like myself or Charlie Kirk or whoever. And now all these years later, now the chickens are coming home to roost and they say, wait a second, this was supposed to only happen to Nazis. You're telling me I'm banned from entering the UK? I'm being targeted by the ADL? I'm being kicked off Twitch temporarily because I'm being called the bigot? That's only supposed to happen to the right. That's only supposed to happen to Nazis. Now it's happening to me? And what's funny is this is the cope. Hasan and his uncle say, well, wait a second, we're being targeted just because we criticized Israel. Yeah, welcome to our lives, bro. Oh, you're just being targeted because you criticized Israel? That's all anybody has ever done, is criticize feminism, criticize black people, criticize Jews in Israel. It never mattered. You were called a sexist, a racist. You were called an anti-Semite. They say, wait, but not us. We're cool. We're just criticizing the secular government of Israel's policies. We don't hate Jews. That's the Nazis like Nick Fuentes. Now you're banning us? Yeah, welcome to our world. That has been the story, not just on this issue, but on every issue. And what's really rich about that, it was just this weekend that Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian on the Young Turks had this conversation. Cenk Uygur said the difference between us, Tucker, Candace, and Nick Fuentes, he says, is that Nick Fuentes actually is an anti-Semite. Why? Cenk Uygur says, because I try to connect Jews and Israel. Imagine that. Cenk says, unlike Nick Fuentes, who is a real anti-Semite because he thinks Jews have something to do with Israel, he says, we are not anti-Semitic. He says, me, Anna, Tucker, Candace, we are not anti-Semitic, because we will not connect Jews and Israel. We are different. We are merely criticizing Israel, doing nothing else. He says, and we all get lumped together. That's not fair. Oh, imagine that. Well, wait a second. Hey, Cenk Hassan, did you try telling Jonathan Greenblatt that you're the good ones? Wait, you're telling me that you're not really a hater. You just have some legitimate concerns. And you're telling me they're not listening? Well, did you try calling them? Try calling Jonathan Greenblatt and tell him that. Say, look, we oppose Israel. We don't hate Jews. It's all a big misunderstanding. Did you try apologizing? That's a good trick. Maybe try apologizing. See if that works. Maybe if you spend the rest of your life apologizing and clarifying and trying not to get a bad soundbite and trying to pick your words exactly correctly and live a perfect life above any kind of scrutiny, maybe then Jonathan Greenblatt will see that you really are not a Jew hater. Or on the other hand, maybe that's not really the point. Or maybe it's not a misunderstanding, and what is not needed is another clarification, another apology. What is not needed is to choose your words more carefully, calibrating the exactly perfect sentence, clarifying and conditioning and qualifying every step of the way what I mean, what I do not mean. I'm a good person, not a bigot. Maybe all of that is futile, because you don't mean that. They know you don't mean that. And they just don't care, because that's not really what it has ever been about. Maybe you're not an anti-Semite and I'm not an anti-Semite, and they know that, but they don't care. And they will call you that anyway, because it confers upon them a political advantage. Jewish organizations have a monopoly on who gets called an anti-Semite. They've made it that way. It's the Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, which sets the definition. It's been passed into law across the country and in Europe. Jewish organizations alone have the authority, have the credibility to determine who is anti-Semitic and who isn't. And they do it very liberally and very irresponsibly and recklessly, but it's their power. And what happens when someone is called an anti-Semite? Well, their life is destroyed. Yeah, they don't get allowed into certain countries, and yeah, they're not allowed to make money with certain banks and payment processors, and they're not allowed to access certain services or social platforms, or they're not allowed into certain institutions or parties or clubs or membership organizations. And so do you think that if the Jews have the power to effectively ostracize any person, that they might take advantage of that? They might abuse that extraordinary power? They alone get to determine who's an anti-Semite and cast them out of society. You don't think there's potential for abuse? Well, let's take it a step further. Maybe they are not abusing this power which they incidentally have. Maybe do you think that is why these attitudes surrounding anti-Semitism have been reinforced in Hollywood, in education, in politics? Why do you think it is that calling someone an anti-Semite is such an extraordinary scarlet letter? It is because we have been conditioned for decades to believe that that is the worst thing a person can be. Because of the Holocaust and Hitler and the myth of Hitler, we have been watching since we're 7 years old, Boy in the Striped Pajamas and Schindler's List and reading Night by Elie Wiesel and going to the museum and looking at the shoes. And who's paying for all that? Who's paying for these movies? Who's making these movies? Who's making these museums? Who's lobbying for the laws that mandate this in the curriculum in the public schools? Who created the system, this infrastructure to reinforce these attitudes that makes that such a scarlet letter and gives these people this power? Are they abusing a power which they happen to have? Or was there a little bit more intentionality behind the system? Is there an element of design? Is there perhaps an incentive for them as a group to have made it this way? Because it makes them this powerful. If you've got something to say about Jews that makes them uncomfortable, you better be careful, because they will take your banks, they will take your deals, they will take your family, they will take your house, they will put you in a cage, they will ban you from Europe, you won't be able to perform in a stadium, you won't be able to go to the music festival. So you better think twice before you criticize Israel or their policies, or if you say anything artistic, or if you make them uncomfortable in any way. That is a godlike power that they have. I don't think Jesus has this power politically on earth. You can offend Muhammad, you can offend Jesus, you can offend Muslims, you can offend the country in which you reside. But Jews, you better watch your words, because it is like a blasphemy. It is like uttering a blasphemy. This is like the first commandment. It's like having another God before them. It is like mocking God. If you are to make a joke at their expense, criticize something they believe in, if you are to stand in the way, God forbid, of their interests, this is a country, this is a civilization which has made Jews an idol. It is idolatry. They run this country, they run this civilization like they are the king of our civilization. And people think this is all just a big misunderstanding. They say, wait a second, we're not anti-Semitic. Nick Fuentes is. We're the good ones. Hey, you fucking idiot. Hey, Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, Hassan Piker, I know all of you got red-pilled yesterday. I know you guys never really went in on Israel until October 7th, but speaking as somebody that has been under attack for the past 10 years, and speaking from the right, which has been targeted far more than the left ever has, this is what is actually going on. And they want to isolate and separate me out to save themselves. And they've done that to the broader right wing over the years. They say, oh, if you criticize Jews from the right, you're a Nazi and you deserve it. You criticize Jews in Israel as a right-winger? Well, that's because you're an anti-Semite. That's because you're a vile Nazi. And so you deserve it. You deserve to be banned and punched in the face and whatever. Oh, well, when us leftists do it, when us on the left do it, well, we are doing it in a liberal way that is responsible. It's not blood guilt. We're not holding them all responsible. We're only criticizing the government. When it happens to us, it's actually really unfair. And it's a big misunderstanding, and we didn't mean it, and this is out of control. And they're doing this routine right up to when they themselves are being banned. And I want to say, do you think this is all just a big coincidence? You think this is all just happening by magic? This is happening by design. And right up until you get banned from the United Kingdom, they want to say there's this big, oh, those guys over there are the problem. We're just misunderstood. No, I think you misunderstand what this is. You can cast me out. You can disavow me. You can say it's not the Jews and it's not even Israel. It's Netanyahu until you are blue in the face. They do not care. It is about their agenda. It is about their interests. And by the way, let me tell you something else. If they ever turn around and say, maybe Hassan Piker should be let back in, the only reason they'll do it is because they'll say, for us to go after the far left might be a bad look. It might make it look like we're going too far. But make no mistake about it, this is about targeting, isolating, and punishing anybody that opposes their agenda. It doesn't matter whether you hate Jews or not. I don't hate Jews. I'm Christian. We don't hate anybody. We especially don't hate Jews. That does not matter. It does not matter. They don't even believe it when they say that. Anti-Semitism is a word they made up. It is a weapon that they forged so that they could have this absolute political power to kill at will, to take anybody out at will, and create the chilling effect which you have been complicit in for the past 10 years. Will there be any self-reflection? No. Will there be any compromise? No. Are they even smart enough to understand this? I'm not sure that they are. And I find that to be the richest of all ironies. You're really going to sit there and say, woe is me. We have been banned from the UK for hate speech. I can't believe it has come to this. Yeah, no shit. This happened to Richard Spencer, Jared Taylor, Ye, Lauren Southern. You people cheered for it. You created it. And just the other day, you were trying to do this again. You were trying to enforce that double standard by saying it's Nick Fuentes that's a Nazi. He's really as bad as the Jews say he is. We're the good guys. Well, you know what? That and a couple of British pounds will buy you breakfast at Greg's if they ever let you back in. Okay? They say literally on Saturday, they're doing a show that Nick Fuentes, he's really an anti-Semite because he believes in blood guilt, right? They give that routine. We're the good guys. He's the bad guy. He believes in blood guilt. You know, when they're delegitimizing our righteous cause by lumping us in with the real anti-Semite. We just need to clarify for everybody that we have the best and purest intentions. And you want to say best intentions? You think it's that simple? Well, try telling him that. Jonathan Greenblatt's a lifelong Democrat. Try telling him that. Try telling the SPLC. Call your Jewish connections and tell them I'm just a wholesome Chungus leftist that is against the genocide. See if they could get you into the Labour government in the UK. It's a left-wing government, you fucking idiot. It's a center-left government. It's a Labour government. They probably would have supported it 18 months ago. And now they want to say, oh my gosh, this is just a big misunderstanding. It's so Kafkaesque. This is outrageous. It's been outrageous. And by the way, the only people that Jewish organized Jewry truly fears is the far right. Why do you think we have been the enemy? Because it is only through our collective power and action that we are going to be able to take power from them and give it back to the nation. That's why we've been under the gun more than the liberals have. The left and the liberals have brought in feminism and brought in multiculturalism and all this immigration. It makes the country weak. People power, workers of the world unite. That is just not going to work against organized Jewry in the same way that a more nativist type unity would. So anyway, so that's Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian. World's smallest violin, world's tiniest violin playing just for these people. They created this monster, created censorship. They gloated about it for years. And now it is finally happening to them. Like I said at the top of the show, there is a concerted push now to blackball Hassan Piker in just the same way as me. And he will be kicking and screaming until he's banned from just as much stuff as I am, saying it's a misunderstanding that him and I are nothing alike. And in a sense, he's right. But let me tell you something. This is the last thing I'll say about it. Then we're going to move on. Let the left be destroyed. Why would we save them? Fuck them. Seriously. Why would the right wing, think about where we are as the dissident right. We have been utterly annihilated. Where are you watching this show? Where are you watching this show? We are going to feel bad for Hassan Piker on Twitch. We are going to feel bad for the multi-millionaire Hassan Piker, who wears $10,000 Balenciaga coats, and he's on Twitch, and he has banking services, and he's never been on a no-fly list. We're going to feel bad for him from what? From Rumble? Where are you watching this show? On Rumble? Why are we watching this on Rumble? Oh, yeah, because we got banned from Twitch 7 years ago. You are watching this show on Rumble because I got banned from Twitch in 2020, I think, or 2019. I'm banned from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm banned from Bank of America. I'm banned from Chase Bank. I'm banned from Delta Airlines. I'm banned from God knows what, everything. Our payment processor in Turkey got banned because the British or Canadian government attacked our third-party service, so you could tip me $20 to say pee-pee poo-poo. And we're now going to feel bad for Hassan Piker? We have been utterly annihilated over the course of the past 10 years. Everybody else didn't even make it this far. What happened to TRS? What happened to Andrew Anglin? What happened to Richard Spencer? What happened to Jared Taylor? He's still hosting a conference at some public park in Tennessee because he literally can't get a hotel to host his meetup of 500 neo-Confederates to talk about how black people are dumb and commit more crime. And now we are expected to do a both sides thing and say, well, you know, we may not agree with Hassan Piker on everything, but he should not be banned from the UK. No, fuck him and his family. Fuck all of them. And it's not personal. I don't say that because it is personal. I say that because it is political. Now it's an even playing field. For 10 years, the radical right could not operate in the space. We had to adapt. We had to move underground because the left emboldened the billionaires to persecute us because cocksuckers like Jared Holt were working for the Atlantic Council. Jared Holt, some Antifa douchebag from Bentonville, Arkansas, he was working for the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensic Lab. Look up the Atlantic Council. It's literally funded by Bank of America, Pfizer, the Lockheed Martin, NATO. These Antifa cocksuckers have been working with Bezos and the Atlantic Council and Soros and the billionaires for years to persecute us. And as such, we were driven underground. Our message was suppressed. Our reach was suppressed. Our ability to operate was totally restricted. And that made us stronger, actually. It made us resilient because we had to adapt. And now we have an effective political operation that is anti-fragile because we had to find solutions to all these problems. Now that our enemies on the far left, now that they are being banned, they don't know what to do. Now they're being banned from countries and platforms and all this stuff. I say good. Good. Let them get hurt. Let them get destroyed by these Jewish organizations. It's a good thing. Hassan Piker says, I'm being targeted because I went to Cuba. Yeah, what do you think happened after J6? What do you think happened under the Biden administration? They say now we're being targeted by the ADL. Yeah, welcome to our world. So no, it's not about to be, we're going to defend our enemies that laugh when Charlie Kirk is killed, our enemies who gloated and supported as we were banned from everything. We're supposed to come in at the 11th hour, the Groypers and the Pepes and the alt-right. We're now going to ride for them and say, no, don't ban the DSA from Twitch. No, let them keep their platforms and keep making millions. Let them keep electing their candidates that criticize Israel while they take from white neighborhoods and give services to immigrants and minorities. I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. Yeah, not going to happen. So, no, I do not have the same ecumenical mentality that everybody else does. Now we're going to ride for Hassan Piker. Could not have happened to a better person. This guy is one of the worst human beings alive, just like a straight up malicious human being. He saw Charlie Kirk die and didn't feel it. Charlie Kirk was my mortal enemy. Nobody hurt my career arguably more than Charlie Kirk. And even I was moved when he died enough to say, at the end of the day, we're human beings. It's a reprehensible thing. This is a person that has no love in his heart, does not love God, does not love the truth, does not love any of us. He is a hollow, despicable human being. And that is what has allowed him to grift for years as a performative, progressive male. So good riddance. We actually don't need him and his anti-Israel Marxian analysis. Nobody needs that. We don't need that. We're good. Nobody needs that. Good riddance. Goodbye. So, I mean, honestly, Cenk Uyghur's a little bit better, but you know what? Too little, too late, fucko. Now Cenk Uyghur wants to reach across the aisle. Now it's getting a little out of control. You know, it's a little late for that. It's a little late in the game for that, I think. Remember his crash out on Alex Jones? You thought Alex Jones was too extreme 10 years ago? Yeah, well, now look how it is. So anyway, that's Hassan Piker. We're going to move on. I think we might just jump into the super chats. I don't know that we'll have time to talk about Lebanon tonight. We might save that for tomorrow. Yeah, I think we might save that for tomorrow. We're just going to move on and take a look at the super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. Have a little bit of a shorter show because it is late. I'll start earlier tomorrow. All right, but let's take a look. Let's see what you guys have to say about all this. I'm going to get set up here.
Triffin sent $50. Thoughts on a post from NY/CA Post News: an illegal murder, 14s in a DUI crash on Oklahoma highway, 2 white girls/2 black men. Grow Ibers/Weidnitz celebrating cause the 2 whites were assumed mudshark.
I saw that. Yeah. Horrible, horrible story. Did you see this? Yes, this is the state of our country. It's really sad. Totally heartbreaking, totally devastating. So there's this illegal immigrant drunk driver. He's driving on the wrong side of the road. He crashes head on, going the opposite direction at 100 miles an hour. Kills everybody in the other vehicle. It's 2 white girls and 2 black guys. Totally devastating. And I saw that and I wondered, did this happen on the tollway? Did this happen to be a toll road that this happened on? Such a despicable, horrible tragedy that this could happen in our country. By the way, did that happen to have taken place on a toll road by any chance? That's what it sounds like. Don't you hate that? Don't you hate when you and your black boyfriend are driving on the tollway and you get blasted out of nowhere by an illegal immigrant coming the wrong way? I hate that. I think that's the worst thing of all time. Think their iPass was expired. Think they had an invoice on the, think they had a little invoice against their license plate on that one. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. You hate to see it happen. You really hate to see that. I mean, I hate to see it because I hate to see death. I hate to see death and destruction, even if it is a couple of race traders. No, but it is actually, aside from being a little bit humorous, it is a tragedy. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about that because the whole situation is totally disgusting to me. You see the photos of the people that died and it's like, goodness gracious, like, come on now. Come on now. You had 2 brothers, 2 white girls. They, you know, it's hard. Like, you don't know. It's a pity that both sides can't lose. But I did see that. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm kidding. That's morbid humor. Obviously, it's morbid humor. We don't like when people die. It's a horrible tragedy. Every death is a tragedy. Where it's a little bit of an edgy joke. Let's not get carried away here. It's an edgy, Funny way to look at it, but it is sad. But yeah, I saw those pictures. I was like, yeah, okay.
Rabbi Selkestein sent $350.
Yeah, right.
Gloves and wrist wraps. Couple of 1-to-1 sessions. Better than lifting. Stay live. Just back.
So, somebody said, is the illegal okay?
Rabbi Selkestein sent $350. Gloves and wrist wraps. Couple of 1-to-1 sessions. Better than lifting. Stay live. Just bag and glove work. No sparring needed. You'll feel like a goof the first few times, but then it clicks, and you feel better knowing you aren't letting your bloodline's hands go to waste.
Okay, thank you for the big super chat. I'm not crashing out today. I have no enemies. So I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear most of that. Thank you for the huge super chat. I appreciate it. Yo, Rabbi Selkestein. I love when people write in these like staccato sentences. Gloves and wrist wraps. A couple of 1-to-1 sessions. Better than lifting. Okay, bro, I guess. Thank you for the big super
Heart
chat.
of the Wolf sent $100. I've heard some people, like Elon Musk and Tom Woods, claim that Hitler was an actual hardcore socialist, and others, like Jeremy Kaufman and Angela MC Ardle, accuse you and the Groypers of being socialists. Sorry in advance for this stupid question, but will you please settle the debate once and for all?
Thank you for the big super chat. Is there a raging debate about whether we're socialists? No, I am not a socialist. That is just the stupidest conversation imaginable. You know, we're just past that. There is no socialism anymore. That just isn't real. Okay, what does that even mean? People say you're a socialist. What the fuck does that even mean? People come up with this convoluted idea like, it's when the people own the means of production. It's like, means of production. It is 2026. What does that mean? The data centers? What the fuck are you talking about? The means of production? In case you haven't noticed, it isn't 1910 anymore. Socialism is when the people own the means of production. Means of production? There are no means of production. Where do you see the means of production? There's no production. This is a service economy. And then you get these idiots say we're going to unionize Starbucks. So what are the means of production? Means of producing lattes? The means of production, the means of producing lattes is an espresso machine heavy capital now? The means of producing espresso. It is when the people own the espresso machines. These are the means of producing lattes and Big Macs. That's 85%. 85% of the economy is not productive. It is like 15% of the economy put together is manufacturing, agriculture, and construction. And 85% is people selling insurance, real estate, financial instruments. It's people flipping burgers. It's people that are working at a cash register. The means of production. So you're talking about cash registers, espresso machines, flat top grills, the means of production. You know who owns the means of production? China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Mexico. That's where all the production is happening. So that's just such an anachronistic. We are not in this age of like people say capitalism versus socialism. Can anybody tell me what that means? It's like when Zohran Mamdani gets elected to New York City mayor and he says, we're going to like tax these finance people and give free busing to black criminals. Like, okay, I guess. Not really, I think, what Marx had in mind. So anyway, to me, that's just not a real conversation. I am against redistribution, if that's what you mean. You know, I believe in markets. I believe in the price system. I believe in capital being held privately for the most part. I think that private people should be able to accumulate large amounts of capital. But yeah, no, I'm not a socialist in any sense.
Day of the Pillow sent $20. Serves you right. You trusted a brown performative Muslim Jew.
Well, I never trusted him. I never trust anybody. But yeah, I mean, look, we tried it. It didn't work. You have to be open. You have to have your heart open. It means your heart will be broken, but you have to have your heart open to friendship and life and the world. And it means people are gonna take advantage of that. But you know, that's their prerogative. You know, so I don't really, in politics is one thing. So I thought Sneeko was my friend. He really never was. He's not a good friend.
Rehab Room community member sent $20. Why does Keith Woods and Fishback follow your sister's private Instagram account?
I don't know. I'm assuming they think it's friendly.
JT Strongbow sent $100. You are one of the few, if not only, influential political commentators that can actually say funded by viewers like you. Even PBS cannot say that.
True. Thank you for the big super chat. Unfortunately, that is true. Much to my chagrin, the show is not funded by billionaires. The show is funded by viewers. The show is funded by the people that actually watch this. Sadly. Sadly. Good for you, I guess. You guys are like, that means the show is going to be really pure and wholesome. It's like, yeah, but it also means I have to jester max. I got to jester every night.
Preston sent $100.
Yo, thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate
Tobin
it.
sent $30. Petition for The Man in the High Castle to be remade with you and Alex Jones instead of Germany and Japan. Pure cinema.
I don't even understand how that makes sense. I'm going to be Germany and Alex Jones is going to be Japan? How does that even make it? We're not countries. We're people.
SSRI Stare sent $20.
How does that even make
Moving
sense?
my family across the country and my GPS gave me a detour off 294 through Westchester Park. Nice white neighborhood.
I've never been to Westchester Park. You mean just Westchester? What is Westchester Park? I think you just mean Westchester. Yeah, Westchester's pretty nice. I used to go to the pool there.
Red Hot Grower percent
when I was a
$21. Thoughts on furries? Locally Twite human capital.
I don't really think that much about furries, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I get a lot of things. I sort of get the appeal of a lot of things, but I don't really get the appeal of that. The whole do they have sex in the costumes? I don't think I've ever weighed in on this one before, but I see that sometimes. I see them in the mascot costumes. It's like, how did they have sex in those? I just don't really. I don't understand how people would. Did they get molested at Disney World or something like that? I never really. There's a lot of things I could see the appeal. That one I don't really get. But those are my thoughts on that.
Don't Tread on Me sent $20. Nick, they say you're what you eat, but I don't remember you eating a legend.
Well done. Very good. Classic callback.
Francois08 sent $20. Groiper dad here. My 8 years / oh boy came in and just said, bro has or PS I think you'll make a great father someday. Latin cross
He said
emoji.
that about me? Yo, Gen Alpha. Generation Alpha represents. Yeah, I'm Unk, but, nephew knows what's up.
Musing Trekker sent $100. Love you, boss. Thank you for all you do. God bless you and your family.
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Slippy Toad sent $20. I love America.
Yeah, me too.
Macha Groiper sent $20. 18. First job as a public park attendant. The boomers are great. They always make sure I'm hydrated and safe. # and boomer hate.
Really? Nice. Yeah, boomers are pretty nice, actually. I do like them. Even though they vote the wrong way, they're pretty nice.
Willie Nail sent $100. Anna and Candace are doing this to you on purpose, brother. There's no other explanation. They are casting the first brick.
Yeah, they are. Dude, everyone's attacking me. Everyone's attacking me. I appreciate the big super chat. I don't know what happened. I feel like Job this year. It's something went out in the psychic realm and everyone is attacking me for no reason. All I did this year was put out love and good vibes and try to be a nice person. And everybody just is attacking me constantly. Candace Owens, Anna Kasparian, other people. It's crazy. But I appreciate the big super chat. You mean what? Them dissing me on the show? Yeah.
Spencer Fortney sent $20. Check out Jordan Peterson's official Rumble account. It has a weird blurry profile picture of some woman and one of only 2 posted videos is just Matt Walsh's Daily Show posted 2 hours ago. God bless. Folded hands emoji.
Why? Why the fuck does that matter to anyone at all? What are you talking about?
Millennials Broy percent $20. My friend is
Check out Jordan Peterson's Rumble channel. It's weird, okay?
Millennials Broy percent $20. My friend is Ogden Island thinks the Iran war's true goal is to hurt China. I've heard you mention this. What are your thoughts?
Okay, if you heard me mention it, then I've talked about it. So why do you need me to say it again?
White Sox Broy percent $21. Newly appointed Indiana State delegate. How do I America first pill GOP boomers? Dual spool, Groy Pet, sent $100. Beating heart emoji, beating heart emoji, beating heart emoji.
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate
Liberty
it.
sent $20. Should it low Groy Pet keep pursuing you until she hits the wall? Or settle for a Groiper? NPM 36 sent $100. Give me Emperor Fuentes or give me death. Raised hand emoji.
Thank you for the big super
Prodigal
chat.
Grow percent
Appreciate
$20.
it.
Fuck bricks and minifigs peak content from Penguins # Lego Star Wars. Epstein quarter to the club bitches love it ironic love you Nick. Rape Sneeko indefinitely sent.
Dude, I was in Miami Beach the other day. I was in Miami Beach in the quarter zip with my niggas, and these two Jews came up to me. And they were like, hey, I like your quarter zip. And I turned and I looked them up and down, and they were like straight up like Orthodox Jews. They had like the string hanging out of their pants and everything. I literally looked them up and down, and they went like, yeah, like we're Jewish. They're like, but we really like you. We really like you. They're like, we hate Ben Shapiro. We like you. I was like, hey, well, I was like, it's all good. It's okay. It's all love, you know? Kind of funny. It was actually Dan Bilzerian and his dad. It's funny, and funnily enough, and the two Jews, their names, Dan Kazarian and his dad. It was crazy. I was like, Dan, it's crazy seeing you here. You didn't tell me you're going to be in Miami Beach. What, do you just get done with the campaign event in your district? Funnily enough, yeah, it was Dan and his dad, two Jews. Two Jews with the strings and everything. And they said that they hate Shapiro, they love the show. I was like, thanks, guys. So you're coming around on the quarter zip, huh? Yeah, see, that's love speech. That's the power of love. It was actually Dan Bilzerian and Sneeko, two Jews.
Jamie Delgado sent $30. Team America. Nick 2028.
Hell yeah.
Veronica sent $25. Holy Jawline Batman. Pink heart emoji.
Okay.
Lincoln Asbase sent $50. First chat, want to thank you for the sacrifices you've made, and God bless and good health to you and your family. Could you tell us your favorite moments of U.S. history/monuments?
No, because that is stupid.
Tess sent $250. You look very nice. Smiley face
Thank you.
emoji.
Whoa, thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Could you tell us your favorite moments of U.S. history and U.S. monuments? Dude, what is this, a homework assignment? Bro is giving me a worksheet. Don't you hate when you go on a field trip and you got to fill out a worksheet? Okay, now when we're all finished, you're going to fill out the worksheet and tell us your top 3 favorite monuments. Dude, shut up. I don't even, like, the mental energy to collect those thoughts and say them is just not even worth it. Why do you care? Like, just shut up, dude. Could you tell us your favorite moments in U.S. history? When we dropped the atom bomb on Japan, when we killed all the Indians, what else? I don't know, man. Why even bother?
Mill City Templar sent $20. Yes, Tucker travels to foreign lands and there might be underlying causes for that, but his segment on Massey was spot on.
Okay, you're an idiot.
On
Thank
Italiano
you.
Vero sent $20. Top 5 De Niro. Once Upon a Time in America by Leone and Score by Morricone. 2 Italians who elevated cinema. No Haitians did.
Ugh, okay.
Hunter Biden's Coke dealer sent $160.
Yo, thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate it.
CG13 sent $100. 2028 POV. Bavino on MC anti-usurp Vance and Rubio by the SC primary. SC delegates, we have a lot of potential for aggressive expansion, but there's only room for one fascist dictator, so we're gonna have tryouts. Snaps pool stick and throws it down. Make it fast. We will decide who's the Hitler.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Willie the Groiper sent $100.
Thank you for the big super chat. I
Rich
appreciate
Groiper
it.
sent $500. Keep up the good work, G.
Yo, thank you for the huge super chat. Whoa, Rich Groiper, save me. Rich Groipers, if you could hear me, please save me. I can't do it anymore. Rich Groipers, if you could hear me. Kevin O'Leary, if you can hear me, give me $5 million in T-bills. If you can hear me, give me $5 million in T-bills. I can't read another super chat. This guy said, dude, I'm not even going to repeat it. That super chat was so, it gave me AIDS. That super chat had me Googling HIV symptoms. That was pure pain and torture to even have to listen to that. 2028 PLV. Bovino and McIntyre serve Vance and... there can only be one fascist dictator. Like, dude, how old are you? Are you 11? Are you 11 years old? It's hard to imagine there are adult people out there that talk like this. It actually is disturbing when you realize that adult human beings are so stupid. Anyway, thank you, Rich Groiper. Oh, sevens. Thank you, Rich Groiper. We love Rich Groipers. Big shout out. I really appreciate
Randall
it.
from Recess sent $20. Thoughts on Norm Finke exposing himself? Heard the Weave is making a comeback at Freedom 250. Never heard of them.
Yeah. Are we surprised Norman Finkelstein that everybody was glazing for years is another Jew? The signs were there. There were signs. Remember when he went to some like event and he wouldn't, he was supposed to speak, but he refused to speak because somebody said Zionist occupied government. They're all the same, bro.
Clav
They're
Groiper on
all
X
the
sent $20.
same.
Please, Nick, never disavow Clav. Our girl is Jew and we work with Jews, but we are just hiding our power level like Q order.
Okay, you're a crazy person. Like, you're just like a psycho.
Italian Mike Grower percent $25. Arrest anyone who says lost so much weight in Europe. Food isn't poison, no. You walked, slept less and ate a whole meal. Judd.
Okay, I guess.
Anonymous Rooster sent $20. You said bro should hit the oil rig since he dropped out of college. Nick needs to hop on the crab boats up in Alaska. Deadliest cat shit.
Yeah, okay.
Marcos 321 Whelan sent $20.
That just sounds like a stupid thing your friend says when you're hanging out. He should hop on a crab boat, like on some deadliest cat shit for real. Dude, like, do you... Okay.
Marcos 321 Whelan sent $20. Guy from the other day, how do I make money bro? Make content, stream, get a job, literally anything. It really isn't the hard, it's like basic media can literally make money, especially if you're not banned.
Okay, thank you.
Marcos 321 Whelan sent $20. Like it's just so stupid, like I dropped out of uni in the UK because it was a pointless course, started streaming / making content on Kick. Now I make like $5,000 a month, really not the hard, pal.
Nice. Well done. What's the at? Drop the at.
Meat on Wheels sent $100. Chocolate Cheeks and Attack Dog Casperian together on the same show and both hotties had Nick Fuentes on their lips. Did you coom in your pants?
Okay, all right.
Smiley face emoji.
I did not coom. Thank you for the big super chat. Remember that? Remember that? A little callback. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, the what was it? Moms with Sam Hyde. Yeah, very good. It's very. If you're not referencing that, it's really
Enhanced Grow
cringe.
percent $22. Merch and Clippers been going crazy hard lately.
Your super chat is cringe. I mean,
Enhanced Grow percent $22. Merch and Clippers been going crazy hard lately. Can we get a young LA style Wang compression shirt to frame Mog next round? Enhanced Grow percent $22. Merch and Clippers been going crazy.
Whoops. I feel like the Wang half thing. We were gonna make another Wang half thing, but I feel like it's just kind of stale at this point. It's like a year old.
Lisbeth sent $100. Are you sure you don't want an Ecuadorian wife that can cook guinea pig for you? That's what Kuya is, by the way.
Okay.
Red heart emoji.
Oh wow, it's crazy. Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, it's
Braden
crazy.
Kellogg sent $100. Sneeko has been working overtime hiding Grow Hyper's replies on his tweets. Here's my new Muslim documentary ready to die, as if that wasn't already the thing.
Ready to die, yeah. I almost called the police, dude. It got me scared. It got me nervous. When Sneeko keeps saying ready to die, I'm like calling the New York Counterterrorism Department. I'm like, you got to keep an eye on this guy, man. Ready to die. Yeah, who even cares? The shit sucks. Like, can we just be honest that the shit sucks? Full of sound and fury signifying nothing. Like, he is the biggest faux sophisticate. He's just like Candace Owens. You're probably worse than Candace Owens. He just has nothing to say. It's all faux profundity. Every one of these interviews and vlogs and short films, what's the message? What's the point? What is the message? The message is like, we're not racist. Okay. The message is what? It's like this pedestrian take about consumerism. Shut up. What if I wore a welder's mask and hit a TV with the baseball bat? It's like, dude, didn't you cry about your YouTube channel for years? Now you're above it all? We're in Spain. He goes, my YouTube channel's my baby. I'll do anything to get it back. And then he comes back and hits a TV with the baseball bat, like, and this is supposed to mean something to anybody. So it's like, the guy's just low IQ. Has nothing to say. He's got nothing to say. He's got absolutely nothing to say. When he's not stealing my tweets, when he's literally not biting his alpha. Bro is now an alpha widow. When he's not biting Andrew Tate, when he's not biting me, when he's not biting whoever, he's got nothing. How about, there was this time a few months ago when literally I would say something and then he would tweet the exact same thing a day later. Like, I had this clip go viral where I was like, I miss Obama. I miss the adults in the room. This is very funny. This was like a funny joke. And then like the next day he tweets, I miss Obama. It's like, bro, get a life. Get your own opinions. Get your own fucking personality, dude. So, yeah, it's just like, do people even watch this garbage? Who the fuck even watches this garbage? He's like doing the street polling thing. He's doing the, what is it? The Subway interview, 5-minute interview, 1-minute interview. And he goes, what do you think it means to be an American? And we're talking to like homeless people. Like, what is this? What does it mean to be an American? You know, I don't know. Like, I guess it means like whatever and shit. And it's like, dude, like, what is even, why are we doing this? So, Yeah, now that it's on site, now that it's fuck Sneeko, we could just be honest. But that's the thing, when I'm friends with somebody, I just support what they do. I just try to be nice. I support what they do. But, yeah, so anyway. This shit just sucks, bro. It's like, what? You're like an amateur filmmaker. Like, it's such a jack off, it's not even funny. I make short films. Ooh, like, bro, you make YouTube videos, bro. I make short films, bro. You make YouTube videos. You make YouTube edits. There are Pakistanis that make edits of Andrew Tate that go 6 million times harder than anything you have ever made in your life, okay? There are Pakistani 15-year-olds that make a harder edit of Andrew Tate than anything you have ever made, okay? That's for openers. That's one. Two, it's like, what are we doing? It's like, I'm Muslim, but also I'm a filmmaker. Isn't that all haram, you fucking idiot? Like, you idolize Scorsese, you watch all this Western stuff with Western music. Oh, but go to Juma on Friday. Oh, okay. Make sure to go to Juma on Friday. It's like these tradcasts that are like, go to mass today, and then they're like cracking every other day. Like, okay, bro, I guess. Go to Juma. Also, I'm in love with Western art and filmmaking. Pick a lane, brother. Pick a lane. Whatever.
Johnny Thunder sent $20.
It's not that serious.
Johnny Thunder sent $20. Have you been paying attention to the escalation in Ukraine? Things are getting hairy. Drone swarms and attacks on energy infrastructure. It's like we're sleepwalking into World War III.
Oh, it's a really hot take. We're at war with Russia. It's almost like we're sleepwalking accidentally into a World War III scenario. Wow, it's like, I have not been paying attention to that at all.
PG sent $50. Heard
That's
two
crazy.
people arguing about who works more hours in a week. Literally a competition to see who gets raped the
Straight up.
hardest. We are in a Dionysian summer get with the program.
We're in a call me by your name summer. No, we're not actually. Yeah, dude, the wagey thing is crazy. Wagies are so fucking annoying. It's honestly like, can't you just have money, be rich? Like, it's not to be awkward, not to make things uncomfortable, but like have money. Wilted flower emoji. Because it's like, I'm living my life. I'm living my life with no limits, having fun. And I talk to people and they're like, oh, I got to go back to work. I'm like, what? Like, just, you care too much about work. Like, why are you so focused on work? We only have one life, YOLO. Like, just talk to me. I'll be like on the phone with my friend. He's like, oh, I have to wake up in 4 hours. I got to hang up. We've been on the phone for 3 hours. I'm like, dude, just like stay up. Why? It's like the only thing you care about is work. It feels like the only thing you care about, all you people care about is work. Why do these wagies? I go to my wagey friends. I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like, that's not important. You're going to work your whole life and then what? Just retire and die? Like, one day you're going to realize work is not the most important thing. You're going to get on the game late at night. We're going to stay up all night talking on the phone. We're going to go on vacations. It's like I talk to my friends. All they do is work. All they do is work. It's like, I can't really be friends with you. Like, you're dragging me down. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to, think about the socioeconomic state of the world. All you people think about is work. Stop. No, it's a bit. Now, listen. Okay, listen. I have to say this is a joke because if I don't clip this part. Clip the previous part. But just for the people watching this right now, if I don't say that's a joke, someone's going to clip that. It's going to get like thousands of likes on Twitter. And then all the replies are going to be like, we have to work for a living. He doesn't know what it's like. We have to work. Doesn't he realize that? I know it's a joke. It is a joke. It is a joke, okay? It is a joke. I know it is a joke. But if I don't say this, That's rage bait. Someone's going to clip it and you're going to get 100 quote tweets saying Fuentes doesn't understand. He's spoiled. He's a live streamer. We have to work for a living. We can't just do that because we have jobs. It's like, I know it's a joke. So anyway, I just want to say for the people watching tonight, yeah, but dude, these wages, that's all it is unironically though, without joking, it is really fucking annoying. Because I tell you this, I tell you how it goes for me. I'll text somebody, I'm like, hey, want to get coffee? Can we hang out like during the day? I texted somebody the other week. I said, hey, we haven't seen each other in a minute. Want to get together? This person responded. They said, yeah, like, you know, I'm like, well, I do my show at night. I'm like, can you get together during the day? This person said, next Friday. Next Friday? What, like in 2 weeks? You might as well tell me like 2029. Next Friday. I'm like, that's crazy. They're like, I know, I have a job. All right, I say, hey, I want to talk. Let's get on the phone. I think I could call you on Friday. I got to wait the whole week to call on the phone? I want to talk now. I have something I need to talk about right now. This happens to me all the time. Let's play Fortnite. Oh, it's too late. It's like, okay, listen, Buster. Listen, Buster. So you go to bed at night, you sleep all night, you wake up in the morning, you get ready for work, you work all day, you come home, you fuck your wife, you have dinner. Then there's like a 20-minute window where you have any free time at all. What am I supposed to do with this? If it's morning or afternoon, you're working. If it's after midnight, you're asleep. If it's morning, you're getting ready for work. So when can you pencil me in? Well, I have my office hours between 8:30 and 9:30. It's like, bro, just forget it. I'll just see you in 40 years, I guess. I'll just see you when we're 65. So anyway. Yeah, no. This is just my life as a streamer.
Frodo Growiper sent $20. Huge fan. Been watching for 2 months. What's up with you shitting on LOTR when you haven't even read any of Tolkien's novels? 07.
Oh, well, they're not worth reading. You know, they're not worth reading because I don't know. I don't want to read a fantasy novel about like elves and stuff like that. It just sounds stupid. And it's really blue-pilled. I think it's really blue-pilled. I like Game of Thrones, which is based. I might read those books. I don't want to read books and watch movies about like wholesome little hobbits and how they're all like best friends and everything. And there's like a wizard. It just sounds really dumb. I don't know. That's just me.
Sent $20. Ran into Dave Smith this weekend. Told him I loved the collab, but he lifted up his shirt, showed me his abs, and asked if I wanted to rock with him. Also, when are Sneeko and Tucker having on Marla Rose?
I don't really know what that means, but yeah, that's funny.
Rolex Dad sent $20. Is your parish just Pearly verified?
Just Pearly things? I don't know. Is that something she's doing? I don't know what that means. Pearl! We haven't seen Pearl in a minute. The goat.
CJ91 sent $20. What up, skinny nigga?
So,
Darkracker sent $20. Caught this nigga on Duel the other day trying to play a few blackjack games. Didn't place one bet Lamau.
who?
Cruiser Boomer sent $20. You seem to know everything. I recently concluded many modern issues stem from industrial society creating a disconnect from human scale nature and consequences, but found you already discussed similar.
Okay.
Kara sent $30. Welcome back.
Cool.
We missed you. Did you see the rabbi next telling everyone that you were 100% right? Smiley face emoji.
I did. That happens all the time. It happens all the time. I mean, look, like, I know them. I studied, bro. I know them. I know their theology. I know how they work. So they're always saying that. They're always like, yeah, he understands our theology. He's 100% correct. I know, bro. I studied. So yeah, it's crazy.
Jeet Roy percent $22. Unbelievable return of Candace reading account. Wild post. Is it on site again?
Did you see that? We got to play it because this one was kind of unbelievable. It's not on site. Like, I still love Candace Owens. I'll always love Candace. But let me pull it up. This was such a good... What is it Candace Owens trying to read? I mean, it's not on site, but it is just really funny. We have to play it. Who's got the clip? This was like a compilation. I guess he's been holding back for some reason. These are really funny, man.
Wouldn't be on the brink of my seat. Look, the short and the thick of it is really thought.
Dude, 5 seconds in, I'm on the brink of my seat. Like, dude, she doesn't speak English. She sounds like an immigrant. I feel like immigrants have a better grasp on English. She sounds like an immigrant, does she not? She sounds like fresh off the boat. I am on the brink of my seat. I am on the brink of my chair. Like, you sound like an immigrant.
Wouldn't be on the brink of my seat. Look, the short and
the fast and the short of it.
thick of it is
The short and the thick of it.
Seat. Look, the short and the thick of it is really thought that what you were saying seemed so far outstretched, but now I'm realizing that
It's not far outstretched, you guys.
I guess you can just toss another coin in the "I told you so" jar.
Did she say toy?
But now I'm realizing I guess you can just toss another coin in the "I told you
Cost another toin? Well, it sounds like she just had a brain
so"
fart.
jar. That's nice that he has entered the foray. Alex Jones jumped into the foray. Since the decision very clearly had to have been made, we were left to assume that it had been made in the umpteenth hour.
Dude, how are there so many?
Instilled in me. I don't, swing for the next team. These are the people who you need to stay away with. And since you've already completely exacerbated every effort to have a PR machine come after me, who are going to be shouting all sorts of questions like you. Were there tryouts? I don't know. I kind of want to know. Were there tryouts? Was it like curtain call? Did people line up in an auditorium? Well, it sure as heck seems that everything is so fake, and that is how it has felt from start to finish.
Did she say starch?
From start to finish. Wouldn't be on the brink of my...
Dude, these are crazy. That's actually crazy. I told you the other week, like, everybody has one or two. Like, my mom says, instead of saying engine, she says, like, engine. Which is, I guess, just like a way of saying, it's like not really the right way to say it. Everybody has like some of those. I have some of those also. Like I say, what do I keep saying wrong? I keep saying, help me out. What did I say wrong last week on the show? I forget what it was. Everybody's got like one, maybe two, maybe three. This is like a minute worth of like a dozen idioms. I'm on the brink of my seat.
Wouldn't be on the brink of
Harbinger.
My seat. Look, the short and the thick of it is really thought that what you were saying seemed so far outstretched, but now I'm realizing I guess you
so far
can just toss another coin in the "I told you so" jar. That's nice that he has entered the foray. Alex Jones jumped into the
foray. Like, because foray is a real word. Like my foray into arts and craft, but she thinks it's fray.
Since the decision very clearly had to have been made, we were left to assume that it had been made in the umpteenth hour. Constantly instilled in me. I don't, swing for the next team.
Swing for the next team. I don't swing for the next team that way.
These are the people who you need to stay away with. And since you've already completely exacerbated every effort to have a PR machine come after me, who are...
That's just totally insane. And like, whatever. She was like a receptionist. It wouldn't matter if she just had like if she just had the fake nails and she was a receptionist, no one would even care. It would just be kind of endearing and charming. You know what I mean? But you're a broadcaster doing politics. You kind of need to know that stuff.
Laura D.B. sent $20. What's up, Nick? Frog
hey,
emoji.
what's up?
Dipok sent $20. You still down for the photo shoot?
Please, if I don't reply to your DM right away, like, why is it the fuck is it always this way?
Dipok sent $20. It sounds good. Racial slur sent $20. No massage. Valor Merck sent $20. Magellan is a lot cooler than Justin Bieber.
That's good.
Alex Pacheco sent $20. It's getting real hot out. Turd Ferguson sent $50. It will all work out well in the end, says Trump. Gee, thanks, man. I was just staring to get worried. You're the goat. Nick, hope the family as well.
Thank you.
Based Goy sent $30. Did you see Based Bavino at the Remigration Summit? He is the 2028 Dark Horse candidate.
No, he is not, and that doesn't make any sense. I did see that, though. Congratulations to Afonso on the conference. It looked amazing. It looked awesome.
Hot if Mom sent $50. Nick, I'm trying to get your group chat leveled up. I have great ideas. Please tell your mod to give me 88 messages or more a day. I add something that has been missing. We missed you and show.
Okay.
Riley sent $20. You really are the only person conservatives can cite as an example of the right being anti-Israel. Thank you and God bless. Poop D. Groy sent $100. Favorite Star Wars movie and character?
I don't
Please.
know. What? Please, why? Thank you for the big super chat. I don't know, man. I go between Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back like everybody. Is that okay? Are you happy about this information? I need to know. Favorite character, Anakin. Because I'm Anakin.
Chevrolet Groy sent $20. Hairline check? UK Groy sent $20. They canceled the Italy show for Yale like 2 days ago.
I saw that.
Diddy Sprinkles sent $100. No message.
Thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate it.
Pepe on X sent $20. If you live in CT, now is your time. 7 Senate plus 59 House seats unchallenged by GOP. Republican town committees are desperate. We'll have.
Okay.
At Nutmeg Pepe on X sent $20. Endorse plus finance anyone willing to run. A lot of the seats are winnable too. For help, look at my most
In
recent.
Connecticut?
The White Recon sent $200. No message.
Hey, thank you for the big super chat. I
The
appreciate
Son S Prison
it.
Rapist sent $20. Putting the QR code to your PayPal on social media is the blackest thing ever.
It is, dude. It really is. E-begging's out of control.
River Forest Groy sent $21.
Yo! Thanks. Thanks, River Forest Groiper. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. The GOAT. River Forest Groiper, you're still up? You're still up at this hour? Damn, what's up, King? It's late over there, isn't it? River Forest Groiper, my man, what up? Good times in Miami.
Erica sent $20. Since you've been live, Sneeko has accused you and the Groipers of hiring hitmen to physically harm him.
Really? Is that true, or are you joking about that? Don't tell me there's a clip. Don't tell me there's a clip. Let me see. I wouldn't be able to see it here, right? I don't know if my algorithm's right on this Twitter account. Dude, what the fuck is this? What is this, dude? What is on my timeline, bro? Okay, that's crazy. Why this ad? Yeah, why this? Why am I getting this ad? Dude, the producer is out of control. I'm blaming it on the producer. This producer's out of control here. What did he post? I don't see anything. Oh, it's from Sneeko Updates? No, we're obviously not pushing for anyone to attack Sneeko. If anybody says otherwise, that's fake.
OzGroiper 445 sent $20. First time super chatter here, love the show. Wishing you the best from the Native American Groiper community hashtag AF hashtag blue apostrophe 26.
Thanks.
Trevor B25 sent $20. Love your show and totally support AF. Sincerely wondering if you, in all seriousness, would actually leave the country and move if the Dems win in 28. Leave all of us to suffer from supporting you. Heart suit emoji.
None of you have suffered at all, actually. You don't know what suffering is. That's just not in your vocabulary. You have no right to even use that word. Yeah, I think I would leave on a temporary basis just to see what happens. I'm probably going to leave and then see how it goes. I mean, because if they get in and they just start ramping everything up at the DOJ, then it's a very bad sign. If they don't, then I'll probably come back shortly. But yeah, I would seriously consider it.
Tonman sent $50. Love you, Nick. God bless you and your family. You opened my eyes to a lot of shit. Got a beautiful wife with a 9-month-old baby, Christian family. And by the way, my wife a Groiper. Let's go, Christ is King.
Love it.
Jake Ryan
Congrats.
sent $50. Running for Senate and looking to work with you in the Groiper Army. Kicked off last week and already have about 40 interns from the top universities across. Yappenheimer sent $20. Thoughts on Brandon Gill? Married to Dinesh D'Souza's daughter, but she looks 80% white-ish. Groip Stash sent $20. Another banger episode despite the news drought.
Thanks.
Holland sent $100.
Thank you for the big super
Lost
chat.
Anglo sent $20. Tipping you $20 to say. RKD4NJF sent $20.
Yeah, it's
Chocolate
great.
Cheeks sent
Good
$20.
job.
Do you plan on reuniting with Candace and Sneeko? You can buy S. Bill and sent $20. I ship out to basic training tomorrow for Army. You think the war gets better or worse for us in the next 2 months? Slay3R8888 sent $100.
Thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate
Saudi
it.
Girl I percent $20. Don't you think you're a little bit harsh on Sneeko? He is a nice guy, just like you give him a
No,
chance.
he's a terrible friend. He is honestly one of the worst friends I have ever had. And that I get angrier the more that I think about it. It's like, first, Dan Bilzerian attacks me and riles everybody up to attack me. Sneeko does not take my side. It's like, really? We've been friends for years and years. It's not like it's this both sides thing where it's like there's two sides to it. I'm being lied about and attacked for no reason. He doesn't take my side. I go out to New York. Hey, man, can we stream together? Oh, no, I don't want to offend my other friends. Really? Okay, I guess I get it. Then he brings on Dan the next day. I'm like, really? He goes, oh, sorry, man. Then he's just shitting on me the rest of the week. Oh, like, it's like you should be nice to me at that point. At that point, you should be overly nice because you fucked up. Then he's going to keep piling on. He's a terrible person. That's why everybody he encounters, whether it's like Tate or whoever else, they don't like him. Everybody knows this about him. He only cares about his YouTube channel. That is all he cares about. He is a horrible friend. He only cares about clout. Everything is an angle with him. Everything is, what is this going to do for my career? What is the community going to think? What is the community going to think if I say this? So that's why even when we fought earlier in the year, it was all like, oh, what the community. It's like, bro, it's about you and me as human beings. So he is just the epitome of like one of these people that you tend to find in this world. I've met them over the years. Some people just want to be famous by any stretch. And that is all they care about is clout and fame, and that's it. And it's all in their mind, it's just a constant like tally of who is famous and how famous am I. And they're always just trying to increase their fame. Get next to the most famous person, dick ride the most famous person they know. It's always about, is my fame increasing or decreasing? Is my clout increasing and that's all they care about. Like I said, you find that in this world because that's who's attracted to this in many cases. He is one of those people. And you cannot imagine and tell me I'm wrong about this, I literally cannot imagine a scenario where Sneeko does something that is not in some way, shape, or form some kind of play to get more clout. And I know that because when me and Sneeko were going to do the podcast a few years ago with Elijah and Myron, and he was going to get on YouTube by brown-nosing Aiden Ross, he wanted nothing to do with it. You know, one day he said, hey, when are we going to get this podcast together? Oh, wait, Aiden said I might get my YouTube back. Never mind, it's a bad career move. Then when I was on the generational run, every time I was out there, he wanted to do content. It wasn't even a question. Putting the camera in my face, let's do content. Sure thing, why not? Now in 2026, now that I'm feuding with everybody, oh, I don't know. Is this going to be good for me? Oh, yeah, I don't know anymore. That's literally how it works. When I'm famous, we're cool. When I'm less famous, we're not cool. That's the function. That's the variable. Now with Sneeko, I didn't care whether he's famous, not famous. I don't give a shit. He gets 3,000 viewers on Kick. I don't give a shit. But I would pop on. He was asking me, hey, you want to pop on the stream? I'd be in the live chat. I don't care that he has 3,000 viewers. I don't even see that. He's my friend. At least I thought he was. So... yeah, it's crazy. But that's when you got to realize some people are your friends. Some people are just using you. So.
Sweet Tangerine sent $100. Thank you for all you do. I hope you and your parents are doing well. Best wishes.
Thanks. Thank you for the big super
Paranoid
chat.
for Android sent $25. Good episode. Short and sweet, very Japanese. When are you traveling to Japan? Douglas Kappa sent $100. Hey Nick, can you stop projecting yourself into my girlfriend's dreams? She keeps talking about them in detail. I know the cuffing is in, but I'm just not ready for it.
Thank you for that.
Kermit the Grower sent $25. Sick hoodie man. Looks good. Great show tonight. I agree there's no unity with the far left. Anna gets a pass though.
Thanks. Yeah, I got it from my friends in the State Department. They gave it to me. I got it from all my friends in the State Department when I was over there receiving my orders.
Anastasia Rogers sent $20. Love the show. Anastasia Rogers sent $20.
I got it from the
Love
gift
show.
shop.
I'm on trial in California from a pro-light real face act. Jury deliberating now and could use your prayers.
I'm on trial from a profile. I don't know what that is. Well, good luck with the trial.
Saint Saxon sent $50, rendering this $50 onto Caesar. Thanks for the show.
Thank you.
Black Bigger sent
Appreciate
$20.
it. Thanks.
Old Rooster 1985 sent $20. 1. Do you actually think the left wing can be annihilated? It seems like they are taking power back. 2. Did Teal seriously flee to Argentina because he's afraid of America's
Oh,
future?
like you don't understand anything I'm saying.
BBG sent $20. Fuck you.
Fuck you, bro.
Legit Savage 96.
I tried to help you. Fuck you.
Legit Savage 96 sent $20. Thoughts on Canada?
No thoughts.
Hunter Biden's
They're
coke dealer
nothing.
sent $60. Just trying to do my part as resident Unc and Noble plug of the 100 per month GC. Saluting face emoji.
Yo,
God bless you.
thank you, bro. Appreciate
Collisionet
it.
sent $20. Went to see back rooms, and a dude in my group had the quarter zip. Big W also young white directors dominating the theaters.
Yeah, it's based.
Wizard 13 sent $20. Hey Nick, sorry if I missed it, but do you have any thoughts on the Odyssey movie casting outrage? You planning on watching? I'll say it again.
brilliant.
Shows have been fire emoji, AF, USA emoji.
Could not. I mean, of course I'm going to watch it. Who cares at this point? People go, they cast Zendaya in a white movie. It's like, bro, they always do that.
Out of Mom sent $20. I don't work. Not a wagey. I see LD totally do 3-hour phone calls with you. Willing to listen and learn.
gosh.
On her schedule.
Are you real?
Matoku
Is that
Shriveled
real?
Tumor sent $20. Shout out to Paul Town for finding out that Sneeko is from Connecticut.
Oh, no, he's from New York.
Pleasant Fish Goat Enjoyer sent $20. Hey Nick. New Gen X Floridian here. Big fan of the show and Fish Goat. You're the glorious king of Florida along with Clav.
Thanks.
Palest of the Pale Grow Hyper Mom sent $250. Long time since last super chat as one teen graduating HS. Bit hectic. Glad you had a holiday in Italy. Loved the vlog. You look great. Very slim. Very
Thanks.
handsome. The shows have been epic. Thanks for all you do. And we love our distressed AF hats. God bless you, the AF team and family.
Thank you. Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Palest of the Pale Groiper Mom. W. Well, hey, congrats, grad. And I appreciate the compliment. I am getting skinny, right? Well, I became skinny. I am skinny. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the hat. God bless you and the family as well.
Shock Hassan Anon sent $50. RW elected politicians barred from UK. Party leader Representative Haird Wilders, Dominic Tarczynski MEP, Philippe Duinter MP. Also
Yep.
activists Steve of Laura Dinger Brueck, Martin, and Brittany Sellner, handful of others.
Exactly.
President David Palmer sent $20. Hope your parents are doing well and you stay safe. Thanks for the great show.
Thank you. Appreciate
Groiper
it.
Pilot sent $20. What up, legend? Thanks for waking up America. Fuck the synonym. Who's your favorite saint?
I don't know, bro. The best ones.
Bro
bro.
Iper's mom sent $1,000.
Yo, thank you for the massive super chat. Groiper, what is it with all the female super chatters lately? That's crazy. Thank you for the massive super chat. 07s to Groiper's mom. 07s, that is just, it, right? It's like the past few weeks, top of the leaderboard, it's all women. Maybe I was wrong. Guess I was wrong. Maybe women are based. Maybe your girl is going to me. Maybe the girls are going to me. They're coming back to me. It's like that song. It's like that Ye song. Your girl is going back to me. Hey, thank you for the huge super chat. God bless. 07s, I appreciate all the support. That's incredible.
HLF Mexican, HLF Palestinian sent $50.
Yo, good to hear from you, buddy. We love you. Okay, all right. That's our last super chat. That's going to do it for me. Sort of a mixed bag. I'm really tired, too, so I'm a little grumpy. Yeah, I'm looking cute. He cute. Hair's a little fluffy. Jawline's insane. Yeah, no, cool. All right, well, that's our last super chat. That will do it for me. Remember to smash the follow button, smash the like button, leave a comment. I'm on the air Monday through Friday. As always, thank you to our top super chatters. Big, huge, special thank you to Groiper's mom, Rich Groiper, Rabbi Selkestein, Tess, Palest of the Pale Groiper mom, Hunter Biden's coke dealer, the White Rican, Heart of the Wolf, JT Strongbow, Preston, Musing Trucker, Willie Nail, Dual Spool, NPM, CG, Willie the Groiper, Mike on Wheels, Lisbeth, Braden Kellogg, Poopty Groiper. Nice. Titty Sprinkles, Holland, Slayer, Sweet Tangerine, and Douglas Kappa. Thanks to them. Thanks to all the super chatters, everybody that watches. We love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your evening.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our queen.
Arrest him. Police the murderer, the stabber, they actually arrest the victim. He's there on the street, laying down, bleeding to death, saying, "I've just been stabbed." And the police actually kneel down, handcuff, and begin to arrest him. Why? Well, when police arrived on the scene, they confronted the attacker, and he claimed that he was the victim of racism. He says the teenager that he had just stabbed committed some racist attack against him. Cops took his word for it, and they immediately moved to put him in cuffs, where he then died underneath them. Well, this is back in the news today because the body cam footage has just been released, and it's absolutely vile. There are screenshots going around. The full footage has been going around on social media all day, and it is just the most incomprehensible thing you've ever seen. And the screenshot in particular that's going viral shows his hand, blue and pale and white, because of the blood loss, limp, being held up and put in handcuffs by a female British police officer. He's telling them, "I've been stabbed. I'm dying. Help me." And they tell him, "You'll be all right." They don't believe him. They say, "We don't believe you've been stabbed." He later then dies as they arrest him. And so we'll talk about the story. There's been major backlash against the British police about this, and it's opening up a wider discussion about a two-tier justice system. Of course, you've got one for black people, one for white people. Or I should say, maybe more appropriately, you've got one justice system for white people and one for everybody else. If you're a white person, this is how you're treated by the state and by the police. Moreover, if something like this happens to you, there is no outrage. Nobody cares. If you are non-white, however, as we all know, it's a completely different story on both sides of it. You're treated completely differently by the police, and then when these unfortunate things happen, when they happen, if they happen, like in the case of a George Floyd, well, then their community will burn down the whole town. And there's even a bigger conversation. I think even that misses the point. A lot of people say this demonstrates there's a two-tier justice system. White people are unfairly discriminated against. White people are treated unfairly. I would say it's even bigger than that. This is an allegory for what is happening in European civilization. And I said this on Twitter. You just look at the basic details of the case. A young, handsome, ambitious white man is brutally attacked, unprovoked, by a non-white person who should not even be here, by a foreigner. He is stabbed and dealt a mortal blow. Now, in this situation, which sometimes happens, you expect that the state or the government will intervene and arrest the attacker, will arrest the people that are causing the problems. That person should be hanged. That person should be executed. A foreigner killing a native-born teenager in cold blood like that, the government should move in, intervene, and destroy you. But what happens instead is that white agents of the government, the police, they move in actually to apprehend the victim. As the white person is stabbed, unprovoked, bleeding out, it is the government, comprised mostly of his own countrymen, that moves in to arrest and apprehend him. And it is actually that action, it is the arresting of the victim, which causes his death. It is the complicity. It is that our fellow white people, particularly those in the state, are accomplices to this. It is that act of arresting us as we try to resist the violence and the chaos that guarantees the death, that guarantees the slow bleeding out and the death of the young white person. And included in this, of course, is the allegation of racism. Why does the state move in to apprehend the victim? Because there is this larger story about a racist attack. And I said this on Twitter, is that not what is happening to our civilization? Which is that non-white foreigners are coming here and they are killing us. They are killing our traditions, killing our customs, in many cases killing us, They're killing the identity of our country because they are changing it. And the government, which is supposed to be comprised of native-born people looking out for our interests, instead of apprehending our assailants and attackers, the people inflicting the problems, they arrest the victims of the problems because of this word racism. And it is actually their act of arresting us, which is to say, slowing us down, apprehending us, thwarting us. It is this act of preventing us from resisting by the state, which guarantees that we bleed out slowly and die, while the attackers live on. This is the story of what is happening in the Western white world. It's not just about police, rules of engagement. It's not just about a two-tier Justice Department. This is a story that is all too common. This is a story of all of us. Our civilization has been stabbed to death. The government should be preventing this. They're actually guaranteeing that we die because of this word racism. So we'll talk all about that. We'll get into it. It's just an awful story, and it's just a story that's too common. How many times do you see something exactly like this? Last year, it was Carmelo Anthony. This year, it's Henry Nowak. It was Irina Zarutska. There's too many names like this. And when are white people going to take action against this? So we'll talk all about that. That'll be our main story. We're also going to talk tonight about the war in Iran, if we have time, and I think we will. We were supposed to talk about this last night. There is some major tension. At least that is what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that there is major tension between Trump and Netanyahu over Israel's escalation of their war in Lebanon. And the reason I say they want us to believe this is because there is a planted story in Axios yesterday about a purported phone call between Trump and Netanyahu, where Trump expressed his anger and frustration with Netanyahu, saying effectively that Israel is single-handedly ruining diplomacy between Iran and the United States. Now, is that actually true? Does that represent reality? We will talk about that. I'll give you my take on it. I think there are some interesting reasons why the White House wants us to believe this. We'll also talk about some clashes in the Strait of Hormuz today. It's been a very busy week ever since last Monday. Last week, you had a series of tit-for-tat strikes between the United States and Iran in the Persian Gulf. The United States and Iran are targeting each other's commercial vessels, and then when that happens, they each are retaliating. The United States bombing the southern coast of Iran, Iran bombing our allies in the Gulf or attempting to attack our naval ships. Today, there was another major exchange of fire. The United States targeted an Iranian tanker in the Strait. Iran retaliated by bombing the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. The United States retaliated against that by bombing one of the islands in the Strait of Hormuz. And so while they're talking about diplomacy that is ongoing and Marco Rubio says that a deal is within reach, seems like the ceasefire is barely holding anymore. And so we'll talk about where we are in the conflict. There's some interesting developments. It's a lot of the same. It's very much a part of this pattern that we've seen ever since the ceasefire broke out, which is that Trump will go to the press and talk about this deal, which is apparently always right around the corner. Iran denies it and says that the administration is lying. They don't really even want a deal. And then the Trump administration makes another idle threat. It's another deadline. It's another idle threat. It's another list of maximalist demands. And then the cycle repeats the next day. This is what we've seen for basically the past 8 weeks. So we'll talk about what is different this time. We'll get into it a little bit about the architecture of what a deal might look like and the triangulation of diplomacy between Israel, the U.S., and Iran. And we'll just give you a recap of where all of that sits as of today. But it's going to be a good show. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Remember to check out our merch store at Fuentes.store. We have our spring collection. White hat. We have the Groyper white hats. We also have the Groyper black hats. You know, we got a little bit of, are you familiar with the terminology? We have the Groyper white helmets, and the Groyper black hats. Which hat are you going to wear? You got the Groyper white hats, and they're out there, very public, very official. They're on CNN. They're talking about whether women should have the right to vote. That's what we call a Groyper white hat. Open, representative. They're on CNN, holding it down for all of us, showing off their hey dudes and their gynecomastia. But you also have the Groyper black hats. These are the guys that are underground. These are the guys that are lurking around in the administration, lurking around in El Segundo, lurking in New York and D.C. You kind of need to get the hat that's most appropriate. You also have your Groyper blue hats, Groyper blue helmets as well, international peacekeepers. They're with the UN. That's why Keith Woods, I think, has that one. Agents of the United Nations, agents of peace. They're just out there making sure everybody gets their humanitarian aid. I don't know. We're riffing a little bit. Fuentes.store, if you want to support the show, check out our subscription website, AmericaFirst.plus. $15 a month to get access to the entire archive, every episode of the show, every debate, commentary stream, gaming stream, speech, collaboration, interview. It's all there for the low price of $15 a month. If you want to subscribe for $100 per month, you get access to my group chat and hang out with me. I'm in the group chat giving you bonus content every day. Today, I think I did about 90 minutes of bonus content. I was just in there. The ideas were flowing. The coffee was flowing. I was in my flow state. And I was just dropping a lot of heat today about the CNN interview with those Groypers. I was dropping heat today about the war in Lebanon, about the war in Iran. I was extrapolating a little bit about my tweet about watching fat people eat. I had an experience with this weekend. So check it out. That's AmericaFirst.plus. What else? Yeah, there's not too much else going on. I'm trying to think if there was anything else major this week. It's been heating up a little bit more, I want to say. There's the Spencer Pratt election in Los Angeles, very exciting. I really hope that Spencer Pratt makes the runoff and then becomes the mayor of LA. I love Los Angeles. See, this is the problem. I love these cities. I love LA. I love New York. I love Chicago. But what we really need is a fascist dictator to take over every one of these cities and murder all the criminals. Because these are the greatest cities in the world. They're so rich. They have the best food, the best amenities, beautiful waterfront. Think about how nice it could be. The problem is all these cities stink like weed, and there's too many homeless people, and there's too much graffiti and too much crime. And so I don't care what they look like. I don't care where they come from. But we basically just need like a fascist dictator to take over every one of these cities and run it like the mafia used to run it. Where are these political machines? Where are these city machines that are just going to run the city with an iron fist? That's what we need. I don't even care if it's corrupt necessarily. I don't care who does it, Democrat, Republican. Please just kill these people, please. Can you just please kill these people? Like, seriously. Because you go to Los Angeles, and unless you're in the west side of the city, it's just total anarchy. You go to downtown, you go to the garment district, and it's like zombie land. Please just kill these people, please. I don't care if it's a reality TV star. I don't care if it's some liberal Muslim. I don't even care if it's a Jew like Rahm Emanuel. Just hire 50,000 police and just put them in jail or eliminate them. We do not care at this point. Just get them out of here. Why can't we have a nice country? It's honestly just really sad because these are my favorite places to be. I don't want to live in Des Moines, you guys. I don't want to live in Indianapolis. I have a friend that moved to Des Moines, and unlike me, he is a straight up chud. He has embraced it. He does not care. And he's out there in Iowa and he's like, yeah, it's actually really affordable and really nice. I'm like, but where's the matcha? Where's the coffee shops? Where's the cool stuff? Where are the amenities? Where are the jazz clubs? Like, I don't even do these things. I've never even had matcha, but I just want to live in a place that has them. I want to be among them. So we got to fix it up. We got to make it better, you guys. Miami, New York, Chicago, LA, it can be so good, but we just need to put a lot of black people in prison forever. We just have to find a final solution to the homeless problem. I don't know, we need more fuel. Like, that's an idea. I don't know what we're going to do with these people, but they just can't persist in the public parks. They can't be on the sidewalks. You kind of just need to round them all up and put them somewhere else. I don't know what you're going to do with them. I don't know where you're going to put them. You don't need to go home, but you can't stay here. Put them somewhere else. Put them where it's cold. Let's just have a little survival of the fittest. Send them somewhere cold. Send them to Alaska. Maybe just send them to El Salvador. There's an idea. We got to get them somewhere like away from the rest of us. I'm kidding about turning them into fuel. I don't actually think they should be harvested for warmth or electricity, but I do think that they can't be on the streets. So I see the Spencer Pratt situation. It's really exciting. It's really a cause for optimism. I don't know what the outcome will be, but it looks like they will be headed to a runoff. And honestly, that's a white pill. So that's going on. There are some causes for optimism. Hassan Piker is increasingly being attacked and targeted by Israel. Finally, some good news. And if Israel was doing stuff like this all the time, maybe things could be different. Finally, some good news. Hassan Piker is out there saying, you guys, Israel is putting me in prison. Israel, please stop trying to make me like them. They're deeply problematic. You're just cherry picking. You have all these liberals. They're like, first they banned Hassan Piker. Now the New York Post is exposing that he's a porn addict. They even banned his uncle, Cenk Uygur. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, guys, cherry picking. If you only highlight the positive, you can make anybody look awesome. They're doing a lot of fucked up stuff too. So you've got that going on. This is maybe one of the only benefits. I have to say, if they were doing this to all communists and all liberals, maybe a case could be made. But unfortunately, it seems like we don't get enough of that. Communists and all liberals. So there's some white pills here and there. Spencer Pratt is ascending. Hassan Piker is descending. There's some cause for optimism. But anyway, that notwithstanding, I do want to get into our show tonight. We're going to get into our featured story, which is all about this murder of Henry Nowak. It's actually a very tragic story, so we'll be serious about it. And I think I remember this story when it actually broke. This is not a new story. This is a story from December of last year. An 18-year-old British man, white man, by the name of Henry Nowak was brutally stabbed to death by a Sikh Indian. This happened in the United Kingdom. And it was a totally unprovoked murder. I guess the story goes something like this. This young man was walking in public. He passed by this Sikh person. His name is Vikram Digwa. Vikram Digwa. He was walking past this Sikh gentleman, made some offhand remark because the Sikh person was wearing a knife on his person. Apparently, this is part of their religion. This is a religious custom that they carry with them giant ceremonial knives, which, by the way, are banned for everybody else. In the United Kingdom, you can't own a gun, famously, and increasingly, you can't even own a knife, much less brandish one or carry one on your person. But for some reason, Sikhs are exempted from this because these are ceremonial knives. Okay, well, I'm going to carry a gun. That's my ceremonial gun. Is that okay? This is my ceremonial AR-15. It's for killing people that try to stab me to death with their ceremonial knives, right? So this young white man is passing by the Sikh who is brandishing a knife and says, oh, I hope you're not a bad guy. seeing that you are armed with a deadly weapon. The Sikh says, well, I am a bad guy. And the Indian follows him around. They get in a physical altercation. The Sikh attacks him. Young man defends himself. Sikh Indian pulls out a second knife. He's carrying two knives and brutally stabs this guy to death dozens of times. Young man calls the police and says, I've been stabbed to death. I'm dying. Police arrive, and the young man says, look, there's my attacker. Go arrest him. The police interview this Vikram Digwa, and they say, hey, what's going on, man? Why'd you stab this gentleman? Vikram says, I'm actually the victim of a racist attack. Police officers say no more, and they go and arrest the 18-year-old white boy who is bleeding to death on the street from his stab wounds. They pick up his limp, lifeless hand, pale white and blue in the extremities from blood loss, and they put him in handcuffs and arrest him. He dies in their custody. They go to feel a pulse. They look at his eyes. They say he's unresponsive. He's dead. He's dead. Now, the reason this is back in the news is because the body cam footage has just been made public. And so now we finally see it in real life, and the footage is so much worse than the description. To actually see this happening, it's just unthinkable. You fail to understand how it is even possible that something like this could happen. That the police could show up, and instead of apprehending the assailant, the attacker, the murderer, who is clearly alive and well and armed, they actually go and arrest the victim who called the police, who is clearly dying and bleeding out from his injuries. And this is a story from the New York Times. This is a summary of it. It says, quote, Henry Nowak, age 18, was stabbed by Vikram Digwa, age 23, in December 2025, after the two men had a brief interaction in Southampton, a city in southern England. Mr. Digwa, who is Sikh and stabbed Mr. Nowak with a religious knife he was carrying, was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 21 years on Monday. Mr. Digwa lied to the police at the scene of the murder repeatedly, falsely claiming that he had been the victim of a racist attack. Police officers arrested and handcuffed Mr. Nowak for about a minute before they realized he was severely injured and began administering first aid. Police body camera footage released on Monday after the sentencing showed Mr. Nowak lying on the ground saying, I can't breathe, and telling officers repeatedly that he had been stabbed. One police officer can be heard saying, I don't think you have, mate. So they don't believe him. The Sikh, the Indian, says, I'm the victim of racism. They say no more. We'll arrest him. As they handcuff this person bleeding out on the street, he's saying, I'm dying. I've been stabbed. I can't breathe. They say, yeah, right. We don't believe you. I don't think so, mate. Police officers are white, of course. The case has been increasingly politicized online. Oh, is it? With the right-wing populist lawmaker Nigel Farage claiming the police's initial response was evidence of anti-white prejudice. He encouraged his social media followers on Tuesday to respond with pure cold rage. Elon Musk has posted multiple times in recent weeks about the case. After Mr. Digwa's sentencing on Monday, Mark Nowak, his father, Henry Nowak's father, said in a statement outside the court that his son had not died with dignity and criticized the police for the way they treated him. But he added that the family does not want his death to be used to create further division, hatred, or tension. And this is the story of our civilization. Why are these people here? Why are these animals living in our country with their ceremonial knives, their rape gangs, their grooming gangs, their headdresses and turbans? Why are these people here? Whose idea was it to bring them here? Why are they in our countries? Why do you have Sikh Indians and Hindus and Muslims? What is the purpose of this? Why do we have Indians and Pakistanis and Afghans and Arabs living in England, living in Scotland, living in Wales, living in Ireland? Why? What good is that doing anybody? They don't belong here to begin with. Nobody wants them there. They don't belong there. They're not a part of that civilization. When I think of England, I think of Lord Nelson. I think of King Edward. I think of, as a matter of fact, George Washington. I think of the Magna Carta. I think of all these things. I don't think about smelly Indians. I don't think about Sikhs with ceremonial knives and turbans. I don't think about Africans. Why are they there to begin with? You add to this the idea that apparently in the future, England is going to become majority non-white. It's going to be actually the majority of people living there will be from the Caribbean or will be from South Asia. The majority of people residing in England will be Jamaican or will be these former African slaves from British colonies, will be from the Indian subcontinent. Add to that, they are causing all of these problems. Grooming gangs, rape gangs, stabbings and slashings and murders like this. Why have these people not been chased out of the country at the end of the barrel of a rifle? It's already bad enough that they are here. You are aliens. You are foreigners. You do not belong there. It's not your home. You are not indigenous. You are not a part of that social, cultural, ethnic fabric. You should be grateful. You should be on your best behavior that these white people have been stupid or gracious enough to allow you to live. But then these people are parasites, predators. They're creating all the problems, raping the young girls, murdering the young men, everywhere and at every opportunity, insisting upon their own culture, insisting upon their own identity to the detriment and at the exclusion of the native people. Why are they not being chased out at the end of the barrel of a gun into the English Channel, into the North Sea? Why are they not being forced out? Not only are they not being forced out, but this is what we hear from the government. This is actually what we hear from the right wing, from the opposition party in the British government. The head of the Conservative Party says it's a horrible tragedy, but let's not make it about race. Let's not make it about ethnicity. Of course it's about race. Of course it's about ethnicity. Why did this happen? This happened because you have people running around the United Kingdom carrying knives. That's why this happened. And let's be very clear. Even to talk about this incident in and of itself is starting in the middle of the story. Let's start at the beginning. In the United Kingdom, it is illegal to possess a firearm to defend yourself. So you have these sword and knife attacks. But it gets better. For white people, under no circumstances can you arm yourselves, even with swords and knives, to defend yourself. But there is an exception for everybody else. If you're a foreigner, well, you get to carry what would otherwise be an illegal weapon, what would otherwise be an illegal knife, because of religious purposes. So it is out of tolerance. It is already a double standard that you've got the native people who are disarmed, unable to protect themselves, unable to defend themselves. They have been made helpless by their own government. Let's be very clear about that. The government, which has a monopoly on the legitimate use of force, the government, which has all the guns, has told its own indigenous people, you are not allowed to arm yourself. You are not allowed to defend yourself. But the foreigners, well, they get to be armed. The foreigners who have their own gangs, who are a criminal population, or even the law-abiding ones, they'll have religious carve-outs. They can't arm themselves. Already puts us at a disadvantage. It's systemic. It's structural. The game was rigged from the very beginning. You are going out as a white person already, and it's even true in the United States. You go out in Chicago with a gun. Where's your concealed carry license? Did you take the training? Did you take the course? Do you have your license in order? Are you carrying properly? Is the gun registered to you? So on and so forth. If you're some black gangbanger, you think they're carrying a concealed carry license? Of course not. You get caught with the gun without your paperwork, it's over. They get caught with the gun, it's a no cash bail situation. Good luck ever finding them. And they got a bump stock and it's practically an Uzi or something. Same thing in the United Kingdom. You can't carry a knife. You can't carry a gun. You are effectively a ward of the state. You are a slave. You cannot defend yourself. The other people can. Young man is preyed upon, murdered with a knife. Police are called. They see one person bleeding out on the ground. They see another person standing in the doorway. He claims racism. They arrest the person that's bleeding out without tending to him. And why do you think that is? It's because just in the same way that non-whites are allowed to carry a knife out of some sense of religious tolerance, which effectively makes white people helpless, it's the same story with these political attitudes and with the law. Law enforcement in the United Kingdom is more preoccupied as a rule with discrimination, hate speech, racism, than they are with rape gangs, grooming gangs, knife crime. Tell me I'm wrong. You've got an epidemic in certain neighborhoods in the United Kingdom of migrant rape, of violent attacks using swords and knives. But with regularity, there are videos that go viral on social media of people being arrested for saying nigger on the internet. So tell me that is not a rule. Tell me that is not how society operates there. Police arrive on the scene. They are called by the victim, responding to a call about a knife attack, and their concern, first and foremost, is whether the foreigner that is already armed with a knife has been a victim of racist abuse. What does that mean? Who even knows? Was a racial slur uttered in the public space? Was he a victim of a microaggression? Was he assaulted? Who even knows? And the white person is bleeding out on the street. It's a female cop. It's actually white people that take his lifeless at a chance to live. If maybe there was an ambulance, maybe if they tended to him sooner, who knows if he would have had a fighting chance even to survive his wounds, but he definitely didn't have a chance once they put him in handcuffs. And this is the story of our civilization. It has every element in it, which is one, these people do not belong here. Let's just say that much. If this Vikram Digwa was never in the United Kingdom, Henry Nowak would be alive. Your handsome, successful, ambitious white son, all your hopes and dreams, he would still be alive if the Indian wasn't there. The Indian's right to take advantage of our society that we've built takes precedence over the well-being and safety of your flesh and blood children. That's for openers. So you have these people here. They happen to be problematic because they are from the third world. They did not undergo an enlightenment. Their civilization was never baptized by Christianity. They did not undergo all of the things that we have as a civilization that has made us actually a peaceful, humanitarian, tolerant, benevolent civilization. So we are bringing them here, and it's not a fair fight. These are people that are fighting each other in the slums of Mumbai. These are people that are fighting warlords in Mogadishu. These are people that are conscripted as child soldiers throughout Africa and the Middle East to fight and kill on the basis of religious fanaticism. And they're being brought into our civilization where we've had the Magna Carta for 1,000 years. We've had the Peace of Westphalia for half of a millennium. It's not even fair. We bring these people here with their knives and their regressive attitudes and their violence and all their problems, and they're visiting the problems upon us. Now, that's not even the worst of it. This is what you need to understand. It's not that we have the problem. Because let me tell you about an alternative timeline. There's an alternate timeline where white people have pride in themselves, in their heritage, in their civilization, in their customs, and their identity and their culture binds them together. And if our people, if our home is under attack by aliens and outsiders, this has happened throughout time, and it will always happen. And the normal course of things is that the indigenous native people will bind together and they will utterly annihilate the threat. If our daughters are being raped by gangs of aliens, if our sons are being stabbed to death and beaten by aliens, then the elders and the fighting age population and the young people will volunteer to kill those people, to kill them, or at the minimum, imprison them, deport them, but as a matter of fact, to remove the threat from society. That is healthy. That is normal. And don't think that this is some kind of unhinged call to violence. We did not start this. This is being visited upon us in our homes. This is our home, our ancestral homeland. This is our place. These people come here, they rape and kill our children. In the normal course of events, the government, which is solely responsible for organized violence, would get the police or get the military or the Minutemen, the militia. They would conscript the people to solve the problem. That is actually the real issue here. So an alien is inside your country, kills one of the native people. Unfortunately, it happens all too often. The police are summoned. They are supposed to arrest the murderer. They're supposed to arrest the attacker. But what happens? It's actually in the middle of the story where you have the problem. They go and arrest the lifeless body of the native person who has been stabbed to death because they hate their own people. Because society has been conditioned to believe that we are the problem. Society has conditioned itself, its own members, its own constituents to hate themselves and believe that they are the problem. That xenophobic attitudes, exclusionary attitudes are worse than actual violence, are worse than actually losing our civilization, our territory, our lives, opportunities, our power. That's actually the real problem. What's more, these attitudes exist. Liberal attitudes have always existed towards outsiders, but this is now the governing ideology. It is being enforced at gunpoint. So not only are the outsiders not being taken care of, not only are the hostile invading outsiders not being held accountable or penalized for this behavior, it's being protected. Actually, the government is working on behalf of the attackers to make sure they're more successful in their attacks. If you resist hostile attacks by outsiders, the government is deployed to render you helpless, to make sure that you cannot resist, to guarantee that you die a slow and painful death. Female cops, white cops are there to show up and make sure that you die, to make sure that your attackers are successful, because they are more concerned with the comfort of aliens than the survival and well-being of the natives. That's the story of our civilization. That is happening in the United Kingdom. That is happening in Europe. That is happening in Canada, in the United States, in Australia. This is happening all the time. This is the same story as Austin Metcalf, the 18-year-old football player from Texas who was stabbed in the neck with a knife by Carmelo Anthony, which you might remember last year. 18-year-old black student, track student, stabs an 18-year-old white boy in the neck with a knife, and the black community rallies around him, raises $500,000 because they say the white student made some racist remark against him. So the black community decided that he signed his death certificate when he was racist against them. This is happening here. It's happening there. This is happening everywhere in the white world. And what it is ultimately is a failure for white people to stand up for their own existence. Do you even care about our civilization, about your own life, about the well-being of your children? The victim in this case, Henry Nowak, his own father said, yes, it's a tragedy. I don't like the way the police handled it, but I don't want it to be a political thing. I don't want it to create division. Well, we are not creating the division, and you are not creating the division. The division is being created when hostile aliens come here and murder and rape our own people. That's actually the division. That's actually the precipitating action. That's the initiating action in the whole story. What are we to do about this? The reaction to it has been a little bit of a source for optimism. You see that a lot of people have had enough and are outraged by this. It seems that people are slowly waking up to the double standard. And it's interesting what this person actually said. Henry Nowak, as he was bleeding out, said the words, "I can't breathe." And everybody immediately drew the comparison to George Floyd. And think about it. George Floyd was some middle-aged drug addict who got the cops called on him because he was using a fake dollar bill. He died in police custody because he resisted arrest and had fentanyl in his system. He said, "I can't breathe." The body cam footage goes viral. Black people burn down the country. And not only do black people burn down the country, but white people don't stop them. White people, the police, the government, they don't stop them. They say, well, black people are justifiably angry. And as a matter of fact, all of white society goes out and is sympathetic to this criminal underclass, sympathetic to the black population, sympathetic to George Floyd posting the black square, standing in solidarity, taking a knee. An 18-year-old white boy is stabbed to death in cold blood. He calls the cops after he was stabbed, not because he was committing a crime. He didn't resist arrest. He was not even in the wrong. Police apprehend him. He truly couldn't breathe because he was stabbed dozens of times by some foreigner. What is the response to this? Are there riots? Is there political outrage? Is there even any attention drawn to this at all? Absolutely not. Is anybody standing in solidarity saying white lives matter? Is anybody burning down the city? Are there protests? Is there even coverage? Absolutely not. Now, I wouldn't advocate for violence. I wouldn't advocate for riots or anything like this. But it goes to show that this is what white people put up with and tolerate at every level, politically, socially, culturally. And in episodes like this, we have effectively lost the will to live. We've lost the will to fight. We've lost the will to defend ourselves. So we have lost the will to live. And white people are retreating and avoiding and running, being chased around our own country, retreating into the suburbs, retreating to different states, retreating to private schools, retreating to gated communities, trying to get away from the problem, trying not to rock the boat, don't want to be politically incorrect, don't want to be perceived as racist, don't want to lose our jobs. People say, think about what's important. Meanwhile, our children inherit a country that is increasingly occupied and colonized by more and more people that hate them and are willing and able to use violence against them. This is the state of the Western white world. And the future without white civilization is ugly. It's ugly and it's bleak and it's poor and it is primitive and it is sad. And ultimately, unless white people are willing to fight for a place in this world where we are not being stabbed to death, where police are not arresting us for being stabbed, unless white people are willing to take a stand and fight for space, fight to take up space, fight for power as whites, not just incidentally holding power and being white, but holding power as whites, then we are going to die. And our civilization will be wiped out. And it's as simple as that. History belongs to those that show up and take up space and are willing to die. That's it. Jews are willing to do it. Blacks are willing to do it. Muslims are willing to do it. Hispanics a little bit less so. These are all people that are willing to show up and fight and die. That's what the Israelis did. The Jews over there, these guys are cowboys. They're over there signing up for the IDF and killing Palestinians. And I'm not saying that's justified, but they're willing to go out and fight and do these daring and bold things, sticking up for themselves as a group. They're not afraid of the phrase Jewish power. They want it. They want power. They want power as Jews. They want to use it to help themselves, and they do. And they don't care who stands in their way. They're ruthless. And the same goes for blacks. Blacks are not, they are not afraid of the phrase black power. They want power. They want to use power. And they don't like white people, and they don't care if we know it. They do not like white people. They do not trust white people. They don't care if you know. Because when they say they don't like you, they mean it. And they will take from you. They will pick on you. They will push you around. Because they're showing up. They're fighting. They're taking up space. I don't condone that. I don't think that's Christian, but it's what they do. Muslims do the same. They show up as a community. They're pushy. They're bullies. They're obnoxious. They help each other. They take up space. They fight for their religion, which they take seriously. What do white people do? What do white people do other than apologize, bend over backwards to accommodate others, worry about offending other people, worry about whether people feel included, worry about whether people feel tolerated, worrying about the privileges and rights of others as we shrink? And that is what is happening. We are shrinking in number, shrinking in power, shrinking in territory, and white people couldn't be bothered about it. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but more of this will happen. This will happen more and more. And it's on some level, it's going to have to keep happening before white people realize the peril that we are in. People say, how many more Irina Zarutskas? How many more Austin Metcalfs? How many more Henry Nowaks? The answer is a lot more. A lot more are going to have to die. A lot more are going to die. Because unfortunately, that is what it takes for white people to see what happens. When are white people willing to vote for even someone like Spencer Pratt, this goofball? Because their entire city burned down. Because their whole city is occupied by homeless people and criminals. That's what it takes even to get that much. What does it take in a city like Chicago? Apparently, there's nothing that can be done. This city was hell on earth. It keeps getting worse. So unfortunately, there needs to be this bottoming out. You almost need to hit rock bottom before we bounce back. You almost need to go to hell. You almost need to descend into hell and see how bad it can get before white people get the consciousness and the wherewithal to see what we've lost. And that it is worth fighting for. Right now, we just simply have too much to lose at this point in time, and people are clinging to it and hanging on, and they're coping, and they're thinking, you know, if I could just take care of my own situation, and good luck to everybody else, maybe I'll be okay. It's not so bad yet. They don't realize it's all or nothing. We're either going to hang together, we're all going to be hanged separately by blacks, by non-whites, by Jews. It's as simple as that. So it's a horrible situation, unfortunately, all too common. This is just the story of white people. And here's the thing. I also want to say this. We cannot let this become the symbol of who we are. I see this all the time. There was this summit this past weekend in Portugal. It was called the Remigration Summit, and they brought all the European activists together from all the different European countries to talk about remigration, which is these massive deportations of third worlders that have come here by legal and non-legal means. Regular and irregular migration is what they call it. And it was a great conference, great event. A lot of people there I really admire. Dries van Langenhoven, who's just unbelievably courageous and remarkable, and Afonso Gonzalez done a great job putting these things together. And Martin Sellner's a big fighter. Keith Woods was in attendance, who I love. He's my best friend of all time, whatever. Okay, so they bring all these people together. However, they're doing this conference, and it's almost like the whole conference is just torture porn. So much of the conference is dedicated to white people talking about how they're being raped, white people talking about how they're being murdered, white people talking about how they're the victims. And I really believe there's a huge psychological problem with white people always looking into the face of this white defeat, looking into the face of white people being maimed and killed and wounded. I understand we need to broadcast these things. We need to get the word out. There's some value in that. But I also do believe that white people, in order to take our country back, we need to start seeing ourselves as strong. We need to start seing ourselves as being able to do something about this. It can't always be about we're going extinct, we're being killed, we are victims, we just need to stick up for ourselves. We need to tap into a larger story. This is why I always like to say we need to think of ourselves as champions. We need to think of ourselves as conquerors and heroes. When they talk about, for example, the situation in Venezuela, I say this is something that gets white people excited. Yes, let's invade other countries. Let's invade Venezuela and send these people back. Let's increase our power. Lie, cheat, do whatever is necessary to get in a position of power and then wield it ruthlessly. We don't need permission. We don't need to broadcast all our plans. We don't need to fight with honor. We need to win at any cost. I see this is a big deficit among white people. It is actually one of our deep character flaws, is white people as a race are preoccupied with this sense of justice and this sense of honor. And honestly, I think in a big way that's holding us back. We have this sense of we need to stand and face the challenge valiantly, and even if we lose, and you want to say even if we lose, no, losing is not an option. How about we rise and kill them first, metaphorically? Our enemy wants to kill us. How about we rise and kill them first? Let them cope. Let them be the victims crying over their dead loved ones, instead of us for once. Preoccupied with the sense of honor and justice and honesty. Oh, our victims, we need to set this right. Set this right. How about increase our power? How about do what is best for us? Not what is right, not making this moral case. We are victims. They have been improper. They have treated us badly. How about their increase is our loss? We have to increase at any cost, win at any cost. Not let's try and let's put our ragtag thing together and let's raise money and let's do this. Let's do this petition. And then the European government will have to talk to us. They'll have to. They can't ignore it. This is their latest, greatest idea. And look, I like these guys. I respect these guys. I don't have a problem with them. I'm not trying to create a problem. But I saw our Remigration Summit, which is the best that we have. These are all the dissident right people in Europe that want to send these people back. Their latest, greatest idea to solve the problem is we're going to get a petition together. And the petition says, we need to protect white people. And they say if we get 1 million signatures on our little petition, then the European Commission from the EU has to have a meeting with us to address it. And this is the state of white people, okay? Muslims form gangs. Blacks form gangs. Pakistanis form gangs, and then they kill people, and then they rape people, and then they work to cover up the rapes, and they're bullies, and they're terrorists. And they are violent, and they are intimidating. And what do white people do? They hold candlelit vigils, and they pass around a petition where you sign it in the hopes that some white bureaucrat is going to tell you, fuck you to your face. All right, white people, email the petition to your friends and family. We're not going to be killed anymore because we want the European Commission to have to say it to our faces. If this petition gets 1 million signatures, then by law, they have to meet with us. And we're going to go to that meeting and they're going to tell us, fuck you to our faces. And then we'll know they're really corrupt. And it's like, what? Petition? Then they'll hold a meeting with us? A meeting? Black people burned down Minneapolis. They had us defunding the police. They abolished the police. They are out there murdering and raping and pillaging, and you're passing around a petition in the hopes that some race traitor accomplice to our own genocide is going to chortle and laugh in your face. They are going to say, oh, here come the remigration activists. Get a load of this. You're going to come in the meeting. They are going to patronize you, laugh in your face, and that's it. No, white people, this is what white people need to do. Let me be very explicit. People say, so what's the solution? Let me tell you the solution. We do not support terrorism, acts of violence. I say this because if I encourage this, I will go to jail. Okay? So I am not in favor of terrorism. I'm not in favor of murder, violence, anything like this. This is how you need to protect yourself. Power comes in many different forms. And what you need to realize is you are on your own. The police are not looking out for you. They were not looking out for us when the COVID lockdown happened. They were there holding you down and forcing you to get the vaccine. They're not looking out for you during BLM. Black people were destroying your storefront and chasing you around and killing you, and police were standing off to the side. So was Trump, for that matter. So you need to understand no one is coming to save you. No one is looking out for you. There is no justice here. There is no propriety. The government will not use lawful force to protect you. So what does that mean? It means you need to protect yourself. But you are an individual. There's only so much you can do as an individual, and you should do it. If you're a man, get a gun. Become proficient in firearms training. Get a gun and learn how to protect yourself. If it's legal in your state, carry a gun. But you need to learn about the rules of firearms. Get a gun and learn how to protect yourself. If it's legal in your state, carry a gun. It cuts both ways. But you need to learn about the rules of firearms. Get a gun and learn how to get a gun. I'm going to carry a gun. If it's legal in your state, it cuts both ways. But you need to learn about the rules of firearms. Get a gun and learn how to get a gun. I'm going to carry a gun. If it's legal in your state, I'll go to jail for brandishing. But you need to learn about the rules of firearms. Get a gun and learn how to get a gun. I'm going to carry a gun. If it's legal in your state, I'll go to jail for brandishing. But you need to learn about the rules of firearms. Get a gun and learn how to get a gun. I'm going to carry a gun. Don't go crazy. We don't want it to be the OK Corral because there's many ways you could be screwed. The police are trying to hurt you in more ways than one, and remember that. Here's the real solution for white people. It's not get a gun necessarily. It's not do these self-protection things. That's the bare minimum. The solution for white people is you need to find a group. And by that, I do not mean, actually, it's the opposite. I do not mean a membership